Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Depends on your time and your location. This is Biafra TV, bringing you the message of hope and the message to prove that what we are doing is our rights to do that. And we also to prove to the world why the British hurt people of Biafra so much, or why they hate that name, Biafra. Why they never want Biafra to become a country. Why they continuously lying to the world about us. And all the lies they have been told or they have been told about us. It's a high time we stick on our grounds to prove those lies. That all these things are lies. And also prove to the world to know why that British never want Biafra to become a country. And also why you are seeing all the killings, the genocide of the Biafran people that is going on, the history. That is message we are here this wonderful evening to send to America, for them to know why Britain, still up to today, trying to destroy the people of the old eastern region called Biafra, with all their secret documents, with all the history. We are here to let America, let UN, let all the countries that cares, Burkina Faso, Kenya, why Biafra is not a country. Why all those lies that British was being told is not the truth. That is why we are here this wonderful evening from my location to debunk the lies and the deceits of the British in this 21st century. Also, for the world to know why things that are happening in Nigeria, why those things are happening. That is also why we are here. So it is good and very imperative as you join me, please endeavor to like and share the program. I can see you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Good evening from here. I salute you. It's also a time to prove to the world that Biafra that was being denied and those lies that British told all of you is why all these killings, all this genocide, all the corruption, all the 9 million lobby of Nigeria is happening. Nigeria is not doing that alone. US, that lobby, those that supervise Nigeria to send it to you, to destroy you, to damage the image of America, is by British, by UK and London. These two people masterminded the genocide that happens 1967 to 1970. Over 5 million Biafrans was massacred through genocide, through hunger starvation, which is a war crime that Nigeria has committed through British, UK, London precisely. These two was the one that was doing the lobby for Nigeria. That if any country comes across trying to let the world know what the people of Biafra passes through and what is going, when even France or America or Canada or any other country trying to put ceasefire for them to intervene into the matter, UK, London single-handedly told these countries I mentioned here that the Biafra matter is internal affair of Nigeria. We are here to prove to the world why that America, up to today, Russia, Israel, in Africa, Burkina Faso, Kenya. We want you to listen to this program this evening, so you will see why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in prison. You will see the reason why Mas Simon Ekpanjoko is in prison. And you will see why Nigeria is pushing Ogenkere to destabilize the Biafra movement. And we are here to let you know that we, as people of Biafra, has rose up with only one government, that our leader, the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, is the acting Prime Minister on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, on behalf of Simon Ekpanjoko, acting as a government in waiting or a leader in waiting for the main leaders to come outside. So she will definitely do handover to them. And you all know what it simply means. We are here to let America, Russia, Canada, Burkina Faso, Kenya, UN, EU, and the AU, Africa Organization, to know that those lies that British told you in 1967 to 1970 was pure lie. Because after 1967, they blocked Biafra. Kenya, Ethiopia have a country that was exit from Ethiopia called Eritrea. After that, Namibia exit from South Africa. In Africa alone, after 1967 to 1970, over 15 countries has been created in Africa by this British and Portugal and Belgium and many of them. That is why we are here to send message for you to know why the reason that British never want Biafra to become a country. But this time around, we know we don't look any face of any human. So far you have 2 legs, you have 2 eyes, you have 2 ears, you have hands, you have 10 fingers and 2 legs. We are not going to look at anybody this time around. That we have emerged. We emerged to take our rights and what belongs to us. That what it is our rights. That you told us in your own charters, in your own laws, in your own treaties, in your own Geneva Convention, in your own Montevideo Convention, in your own Vienna Convention, you told us in all these charters that there is a situation that leads to people to exit from a country that they are oppressing them. That a group of people with one ideology has the right, that it is their inalienable right to choose their government, to choose those that are going to govern them, and also to live a life that they want and maintain their culture, their economy, and their future. So the people of Biafra has maintained this criteria. Now, you say that the last option is remedial secession. The same remedial secession external that Chukwuemeka Odumegwu used in 1967 to 1970, that you masterminded and you block it. Because of what? Oil. And you are shell, you could not build this your oil company in the north. You could not build in the west. It's only in the eastern region that you come and you build this company that you use to suppress us till today. That this company that causing genocide, this company that causes all the problems that are facing people of the indigenous people in Nigeria today. Because of this your oil, this is oil company. That is why you amalgamated over 100 ethnic group of people and called them one people. And none of them even signed in that your document of which the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914. After you started by killing of indigenous people, you destroyed the waters of a Kumeku warrior. What have you do, Noba? You destroyed these men for nothing because of the selfish interests that are today proving that what is happening in Nigeria proving that Chukwuemeka Odumegwu was right for declaring Biafra in 1997 because of he witnessed the buying of his own people. He witnessed the killing of his own people. And the killing becomes much. And on that, he chose on external remedial succession by declaring Biafra. Many countries which you lie to the world, to the America, US congressmen, share this message, please. Let the world understand that those lies that was being told to US, told to people of Canada, Austria, Sweden, Norway, those countries that are Christian countries wanted to intervene in the matter, to remove from internal. You tell them that, oh, if Biafra becomes a country, there is many more countries that are going to come out in Africa. The question is, after 1967 to 1970 Biafra genocidal war, the question we're asking you, did you, a British, created any country in Africa at all? After the Biafra genocidal war, our question is, when you lie to African continent, when you lie to the EU, to the OAU, then you lie to them that if you allow Biafra to become a country, that many countries will march in Africa. Now our question we are asking you is, after 1967 to 1970, did any country being created or being granted recognition as a sovereign state in the whole entire Africa? This is our question that US needs to ask Britain. This is a question. We are not talking about Europe, not talking about Asia. We are talking about Africa as a continent on their own. That when Frederick Lugard lied to the world with his governor, that if allow Biafra to succeed, that is going to create many more countries in Africa. Our question is, after 1967 to 1970, how many countries did the British created? And before then, how many countries Africa has? That's not of Africa. Before 1967 to 1970. Before 1967 to 1970, how many countries did Africa have that time? Somebody should ask Google. It's very, very simple question. Ask country. Before 1967 to 1970, how many countries are in Africa? This is a question that needs an answer. So I want somebody to go into Google, type this question, put it on comment section. Then after that, we are going to ask them, after 1967 to 1970, how many countries is being created by Britain in Africa? These are questions that call for an answer. If you are here with me, can you please just type on the Google, how many countries is being created, was created before 1967 to 1970? Can you find an answer to me? Let us do it together. Can someone type on Google, before 1967 to 1970, how many countries was created? How many countries made up of Africa? I want for someone to put it on the comment section, please. If you are here with me, can you help me to find that on the comment section, on the Google, and place on the comment section, please? Can you? Do not just mention names of the country. Just type how many countries, whether it is 10, 2, 3, or 5. That is my question. Before 1967, how many countries that was created in Africa? That is the question. Because that question will help you to find an answer on the program we are about to launch this evening. Can someone do that as I'm waiting, please? Can someone help me to find an answer to this question I'm asking? And you put it on the comment section, please. Help me endeavor to do that, so as we are moving on this program, this wonderful evening. Okay, as we are moving, as we are waiting, we continue repeating this question as Biafran join us in a full house. So, we are letting the world to know. We are letting America, US, That is why you see their flag there. We are letting Russia. That's why you see their flag. We are letting Canada to know something. We are allowing Burkina Faso, Kenya, and the many countries in Africa. That is why I put AU. That is also why I put UN and EU. We want them to listen to this document of British and know is the reason why that this ongoing genocide that has started from before 1914 that leads to 1967 to 1970 genocidal war. That up to today, this genocide is everywhere in social media. That this genocide is everywhere. And why that British allow every other countries in Africa to become a country, and why British never allowed Biafrans to be a country. Why do they hate Biafran people so much? And why do they hate that name Biafra so much? Why that hatred from them? And why do they allow many countries to emerge after 1967, 1970? These are the questions that we are throwing out, that we want America, we want you to share this program so as they are watching us, so they can find an answer through your comment section and what we are going to reach out today. Why British hated us? Why the lie they told the world is not truth? Ogonna said 30 to 35 Africa gain independence. Yes, exactly. I have it here already. I just want us to communicate together, to put our mind for you to know there is things that you can type on a Google, you can get an answer without waiting for my app. After 1967 to 1970, 35 countries was being created in Africa. The only one that was denied is the people of Biafra. Their own is being denied. They are the only one that the British lied against us, that Biafra will create many countries in Africa. Now, no Biafra. Why 35 countries emerge in Africa? That is where we want Donald Trump to know that the Biafran quest is a right cause. That is why I want the president of Russia, Putin. That is why I want the president of Canada, Kenya, Burkina Faso. We want you to look into this and ask questions. That this particular one that had been suppressed from that day till today, there was a reason and there was something important why they are not a country. That is why Africa is a mess, because they know that Biafra will liberate all the Africa from colonial era borders that was being created at us. This artificial border being created by Britain. That Biafra will end artificial colonial border that are controlling Africa. That only 4 countries in Africa right now exit from this colonial border, this artificial border being created by colonial masters that are controlling the rest of Africa today. Check, over 50-something countries in Africa. It's only 4. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, I think Senegal. These are the only 4 who has refused and moved away from the artificial border of the colonial master of Great Britain. They are trying to liberate, they have liberated themselves and walked away from this. That is why their countries are glittering today. That is why their countries are moving forward today. But look at Nigeria going back. Can you imagine that? So, we are coming back to the program. If British told the world that Biafra will create many more countries in Africa, then why did you create more 35 countries after 1967 that Biafra was being denied? Why did you create 35 countries after the Biafra genocidal war? If the war, what you said was true, that Biafra as a country will liberate many countries in Africa, why did Eritrea come as a country? Why did Namibia becomes a country? Why did the Apartheid regime hold? If you are saying the truth, and if not for the so-called interest of your oil, we are going to unleash the mayhem on you as the days are coming, because this your lie and this your propaganda of one Nigeria because of oil in eastern region. I tell you there was a document that proving all I'm saying that is true. That you only allow it to happen, that you never want Biafra as a country because of oil interests, because of your company, that you have invested a much, that Biafra as a country will deny you to take oil from Biafra land to London. You said it in your comments, in one of your documents in archive. In archive, you are the one that wrote it. I know that maybe after we expose this, you might go and delete it like the way you normally do. But before you delete them, we already stored them and saved them as an evidence to the world. The world, we are asking you, why is it only Africa that was being denied 1967 to 1970, and after this our genocidal war of Nigeria, what happened? Another 35 countries has been created in Africa. Another 35 has been created in Africa. That is why today, the people of Biafra, under our DPM, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, stand on the mandate of what keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu life imprisonment, what put Oba Tobi, Simon Ekpa 6 years imprisonment. These are the things that we are asking the world. You allow Congo to become a country in 1960. You allow many countries in Africa to come south. That is why exactly I'm asking that question. I want to know how many countries in Africa before 1967, 1970, 3 years Biafran war. What are the names of countries? How many countries exist period of that time that we are fighting? And those that comes after the war, 35 after the war. And how many was there before the war? And those that was getting their freedom from Africa, from which hands of those? Britain generates more countries in Africa. British created more countries in Africa, but it's only Biafran quest is what he denied because of what? The interest of what? Oil and gas. That is all. Because they want to be in charge of the oil from the Biafra land. From old eastern region happen to be Biafra territory. That is the reason why that you can see that British went ahead to create Nigeria as a country. Nothing more than that. Nothing. Nothing. So we are calling on all these world powers to look into this matter now that Nigeria becomes a mess up. We are calling on all of you to listen to the Biafran quest and listen to our DPM, listen to the United States of Biafra government that are seeking for recognition, that argue that only this $9 million has proved again that we are right in what we are seeking. 1967 to 1970 till 2026, we are not going back anymore again. Never will we go back to Nigeria again. If instead of we to go back, every living thing we go down. It's not a threat, but this is a word that I want all of you to know how it is. We don't want to remain under this bondage. We don't want to remain under this colonial regime master of Great Britain, Frederick Lolugard, with a girlfriend that brought a country called Nigeria and give them the name. And none of the indigenous people was signed. America 56 was signed for your country. Even though when 578 people was against you, you stand and talk less of the country that nobody, no indigenous person signed that we want this name or we want togetherness of this thing you called one Nigeria, that simply means a death sentence to every indigenous person. That is why they are lobbying $9 million. The $9 million is for you to allow them to continue to wipe away the Christians and the indigenous people. There is no way this connection, this amalgamation will hold. Christians this side, Muslim this side. It does not work. What works is this: divide them, Muslim on their own, the Christian in their own. If any of us goes into their territory, then we will obey their law and respect them. That is what is going to yield the result. And that is why what United States of Biafra has presented to you as the everlasting solution. Let those who claim they are Muslim, one side. Those are Biafra, those claim that they are Judaism and Christians, one side. Let them have their law. When I move to the area of the Muslim, I will obey their law, I will respect them. When you come to the Biafran territory, you come to the Christian side, you respect our own law. America, how many people are Muslim in your country? That is the question, call for an answer. We are asking Israel that is always keeping silent. Israel, you are silent is what triggers all the genocide that is going on, because you was not meant to silence because of the Judaism and the Christianism that are being worshipping or person in that old eastern region, but you remain silent. Let's take it that in the Biafran First War that you are going through war on your own, but now that the world, America has been there to defend you and also to help you. What stops you, Israel, to be the first one to recognize people of United States of Biafra, to end this killing that is going on? Chigozie, you're welcome. Amadi Chigozie, I greet you. Thank you so much. Good evening from here. So we are shipping our message to the world for them to know that those lies that British told all of you in the past was a pure lie. That is not because of many countries, but it's because of for them to continue to taking oil from Biafra land, from Odisha region, send it to London straight. That is why they did what they did in the past. And you that are keeping silent as a country, you are supporting this impunity. The question is, are you benefiting from this oil that London, that British is taking from Old Eastern region and manufactured in London and give Nigeria 5%? Are you benefiting from that money? British send America, France away because of what they said, that they don't want France to come and be taking the oil, that they want to be in charge. They told them what they told France. France walked away from us. That is why we are here raising our voice to the world to know that those lies is pure lie. That after the 1967, 1970, many countries has emerged in the world. That's why I said, can someone type on the Google precisely after 1967 to after 1970, how many countries was being created by British in Africa? This is the way we're going to debunk this lie today. So I want you to join me on, as we are doing that, your research. Put it on the comment section for the world to see. After 1970, how many countries was being created by British in Africa? Just type it on the Google, you will find the answer, and put it on the comment section, please. I urge you to do that, because the world must know the truth. They must know why we are dying. They must know why we said we want to be exit Nigeria, that we want to be a country of our own without depending on anybody anymore. We want the world to listen carefully to us. We want the world to know that we are the solution in Africa, that we are going to quench the ongoing genocide. The meeting we had yesterday with all the northern Muslims, all the Mietialas, they have meeting that they will never allow Nigeria to be break up. Not them that are saying that that is what British organized them to do. That is what London, England asked them to do. And the UK, that is what they're doing today. They have had a meeting that they will never allow, whether they like it or not. We must break it, we must end, because we are not one people. We are not one people. We are different people, different ideology, different opinion, different worship, different culture. That is who we are. We cannot accept it. And America knows that this time around, that we have organized ourselves more than the way we were before. That money you, Mietiala, is given to Ogenkere to destabilize the movement cannot hold. The center can no longer hold, because this is 21st century where everything goes towards digital. It's no longer the 1960s, 1970 where you massacre us and pretend that nothing has happened. And the BBC was lying to the world. So whether you like it or not, Biafra has become a country, and let us see how it's going to work this time around. That is why we're here to present to the world why British supported Nigeria, masterminded the killing, the genocide up to today. People are dying every blessed day. And want us to remain silent. You want us to remain silent. The time has gone. In this 21st century, we have adopted all the international law. We have adopted all the treaties and agreed to abide by the peace That is why we are no longer into Woto, because we find out that knocking Woto was the why you delayed Somaliland. Knocking Woto was the why you delayed Northern Cyprus. Knocking Woto was the why also you denied Kosovo. But we are here today in this 21st century era. We have agreed on the 2026 international laws that said that you must drop armed struggle, go into legal, diplomatic, political, and the pressure. We must mount it to you because you are evil, you UK, you London. The blood of the Biafrans must be upon your head day in, day out. You will pay for those blood, and the blood are still be killing today because of your evil interest of the business, because of your greediness, because of your stupidity, because of your selfish interest. Economy. That is why Biafran people are still dying today. That is why Nigeria have the audacity to sentence our president Mazen Khan to life imprisonment, and colluded with Finland to sentence our Prime Minister Simon Banjoko. We are not going to accept it. That is why we have a leader in the name of Dr. Ngozi Arabeze today who understands the legal aspect of it and what you want us to do. You must run away from Biafran territory in due time. Tedu Cruz and all the members of the congressmen, we are holding you accountable to present the dividing of Nigeria to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, this is the last time you have to put Africa in a better place. This is the hard time you have to make the world a better place, because Biafra will be a better ally to the United States of America and to all the Christian countries, because we are. That is who we are. We are not stopping. We want the world to listen. We want the world to know that the USB, which simply means the United States of Biafra Republic, has emerged again. We have redeclared that lost country, that lost in the map, lost in the territory, but never lost in our blood. It is internal. The ideology can never be died. That is why you are wasting your time to delay it. That is why the time you are wasting does not matter to us. But you must finally succumb to it in this 21st century. Now we have a government that are in Washington, D.C. Now we have a government that are living in Washington, D.C. We are not going to relax for 1 minute for all of you anymore, because we must be free people. We must live our life. We must protect our border, protect our mother, protect our daughters from the rape, for the rapist Nigeria country. Nigeria is a rapist. Nigeria is a killer. Nigeria is dead. Once you read Nigeria, that simply means death sentence. In a country where nobody has mouth to protest, where nobody has mouth to ask government a question, where nobody has right to expose government atrocity and for them to change, rather they will put you behind the bars. We can't live like that. We can't live like that. So we want the world to know that we are crying for what? International recognition, that we end the ongoing genocide, that we end the impunity, that we end the British colonial ruling in Africa or in Nigeria, because they are in the one controlling Nigeria. Nigeria is just like a caretaker. They are the landlords till today. They decide who goes and who will not enter the seat. They know. So when you see Peter Obi messing himself up, they will look at him and laugh at him and say, look at you. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you are, Peter Obi, if you know you are not supposed to be here to be begging, my people. That is how the world sees Peter Obi and his stupidity. Think that the problem is not president, but the problem is to designate Nigeria and also to divide Nigeria. Let every indigenous person sit and have their own rights, protect their own borders. Do you know that when we protect our border, that nobody will come and kill us anymore? Nigeria border is being corrupt and nobody is there. Those that are there are repented Boko Harams are there in the name of the military. So they give the people a chance to troop in. Count the numbers of the Boko Haram in Nigeria, all that called threatening of integrity of threatening life of human being. Count. Nigeria has the most highest population of the Boko Haram, ISWAP, ICC, Lakrawa. All these groups and they are uniting together to make sure that they wipe away the indigenous people who never want Nigeria to be Islamized because of the issue of the Islamization that the British accepted. They allow them because they know that it did not allow them to do the amalgamation that these men will destroy this oily business, and because of that, they continuously lying to the world that Biafra will create many more countries in Africa. After that, these countries, over 15 to 20 countries that have been present in Africa, is it Biafra that makes them to become a country? Is it Biafra that makes Namibia to become a country? Is it Biafra that makes Ethiopia, makes Eritrea to become a country? Is it Biafra that makes South Africa to go into apartheid regime and become a better country? Is it Biafra that makes Seychelles to become a country? What of SADR? What of South Sudan? What of people of Somaliland? Is it Biafra that created all these countries that are living today as their own? It's only on us because of the selfish interest of UK, London, and England in our territory. That is why people are being eyed anymore and they never care. What have you had anything that UK, London, England, have you had anything coming out from their mouth about all this ongoing genocide? They are sponsoring Nigeria, how they will defeat America. But let us see how it goes, because this is the end of Nigeria. America wants you to know that organizing Biafra will give you a better ally. So you will build a military base in Biafra land to chase away the criminals and also to protect people of Biafra, because without you, they can come. But we are prepared without you to move. We are only trying to maintain all the existing protocol. We are only trying to stand on all this protocol that has been there before us. That is why people of Biafra is not relenting. That is why people of Biafra is not panicking. We must achieve this time around. There is no victor, no vanquish anymore. There must those that win, and we are out to win. That is why we said that this is not anymore this is 21st century. It's no longer when you come, you destroy us as the way you want, and you think we will keep silent. We have taken the bull by its horn. We have taken our freedom by ourselves, because freedom is being taken, not being given. And we have given ourselves what? United States of Biafra as our own country that we have declared. And we are a sovereign nation. After our declaration of November the 2024, we are only seeking for what? The international recognition. That is only what we are seeking for. And we must get it. Because Britain, you are not only the country that can grant recognition in the world. Britain, you are not only the one that can grant recognition to every country in the world. Those you created is there, and you never want Biafra to be a country, because you said that we are not going to allow you to take oil the way you want. That is only the reason why. That we stop the oil moving to London. That is only the reason why you denied Biafra 1967 to 1970. My people, can you see the evil, how wicked they are? Because of the stupidity, greediness, or they want to enrich themselves. That is only why people are dying day in, day in, out. And when we also ask God, let this thing that people are passing through in Biafra territory, let this happen to London, let it happen to UK, let it happen to England. Let protests that will lead to a brutal war happen to you, because you have wasted this blood enough. This enough is enough of this blood that you are wasting in Biafra territory. Because of what? Your selfish interest of oil and gas. Because of your selfish interest of oil and gas. That is why you allowed over 5 million Biafrans be massacred, and you join and kill them. That is why we are calling on you. We are calling on the world. The people that their flags and their names are here, Canada, Russia, please endeavor to do something that we as Biafran people must live. Without us exit Nigeria, they have mapped us out to wipe us away. That is why we also said to Donald Trump, you are a wonderful man, you are doing a good thing, but that good thing cannot be completed without recognizing Biafra. Give us our recognition so we can go and maintain our territorial integrity and chase away these invaders, these criminals, these hijackers, these people that are sucking demon. My people. In USB we stand, and in USB we are going home. No other way around. The world knows the legitimate government of the people of Biafra. The world knows about it very well. So that is why I told you, do not panic because we are going home. Do not panic because our recognition is knocking on our door. In due time, our allies are going to prove it. Whether America like it, or whether Britain like it, or whether Nigeria like it, does not matter. What matters is that we are on the legal side of this movement that we are into. That is what matters the most. We are on the legal side, and when it's come to the legal and the reality and the evidence, we are winning massively. USB is winning massively because the world knows the truth. They're not only come to destabilize the movement, but with the help of Chukwu through our dependence on Ngozi, they could not be able to achieve that. The words, we want you to realize that Biafra could be the best allies in this world. That is why it is very, very imperative as you are watching this program, please share this program so others will see it and like, and they will come and do what? Join us on this hallowed platform. That is why whenever we come, we ask you to share it, please, and like. That is how you are making this to go viral. As we are about to read the document of the great Britain, of the greedy Britain, not great, of the greedy Britain, of the selfish Britain, who trying to destroy the people of Biafra, thinking that we are going to remain silent. But they never knew that we have made up of our mind that we must exit in this 21st century. We are not going back, my people. We are not going back. We are not going to drop anything like Chukwuemeka Waziri agreed. Like Chukwuemeka Odimegwu agreed in his own time. For our own time, we have learned our lesson from him. Oh, Santos Christ, I greet you. Thank you. You are the first person today that comments when I just posted and my time was being delayed because of my job. I thank you for also being here at this moment and listening to me. Thank you so much, brother. You are one in a million. Thank you so much. So, my people, we must stand on this truth mandate. We must represent our government. We are not going to do anything that is not representing the government. That is why we can achieve recognition. So as we move to the document, listen to see reason why British never want Biafra to become a country. That is why we are here to let the world know. And we want the world to know why all that's happening in Nigeria is happening because of this. We want the world to listen and know this. We want the world to know it. Network. So the network did not allow it to refresh, but it must come.
Biafra remains a powerful symbol of self-determination, which is exactly why the British government historically sought to suppress it. 1. The secret motivation, oil and Shell BP.
Do you hear the secret? Oil. The secret motivation, oil and Shell BP company. They build this company in all the Eastern region. They did not go and build in the north. And because of this Shell BP company, that is why the people of Biafra is dying. This company must go down in Biafra land. This is the evil company that made us to see answering one Nigeria to today. If this company is not there, nobody will answer one Nigeria.
Declassified files from the UK National Archives reveal that the primary reason the Harold Wilson government backed Nigeria against Biafra was oil. The Shell BP factor. At the time, Britain's largest investment in Africa was Shell BP's oil infrastructure, much of which was located in the eastern region, Biafra. The fear. Secret memos show that British officials feared that if Biafra became independent, it might nationalize the oil or lease it to other countries, like France. To protect British profits, they decided that one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flowed to London. 2. The Commonwealth preservation. Britain viewed Nigeria as its flagship colonial creation in Africa. Preventing a domino effect, Internal documents show British diplomats were terrified that if Biafra successfully broke away, it would lead to the balkanization, shattering, of other African nations. The name as a threat, the name Biafra, represented a challenge to the borders Britain had drawn in 1914. To acknowledge the name was to admit that the British colonial project of amalgamation had failed. 3. Psychological warfare and covert arms. Declassified files also reveal a secret campaign to manage public opinion. Denial of arms. While Harold Wilson told Parliament that Britain was only sending a trickle of defensive weapons, secret logs show they were actually the primary supplier of heavy ammunition and armored cars. The genocide problem. When reports of starvation in Biafra reached the British public, the government launched a presentation strategy. Memos show they advised the Nigerian government on how to convince the outside world that they weren't committing genocide, purely to avoid British public backlash. Summary table. Official stance versus secret files. Topic. Official British stance, 1967 to 1970. What secret files revealed? Why they supported Nigeria. To maintain peace and unity in Africa. To protect Shell BP oil interests. Arms supply. Small traditional amounts only. Massive shipments of heavy weapons and ammunition. The name Biafra, an illegal secessionist term. A threat to the British-designed map of Africa. Humanitarian crisis. They claimed to be doing all they could. They prioritized military victory over ending the starvation. The modern British government's sensitivity to the name Biafra is often seen as a continuation of this territorial integrity policy, as admitting the legitimacy of the name would involve confronting a very dark chapter of British foreign policy. Would you like me to look into specific declassified memos regarding the British oil company's correspondence during that time?
Listen again. We are allowing these boys without saying a word for America to hear this. That is why you have to share this program, please. If you're not joining me, there is a 3 dot in front of you on your right hand side. This way I am pointing my hand. Please click on that 3 dot. It will open. You will see, like, and share. Share the program, like the program, so others will get this information. As the government of USB is arguing why we have to exit Nigeria, so let them also see why Britain never wants us to leave because of what? Oil.
The tension between the British government and the name/concept of Biafra is not just a matter of modern politics, it is rooted in declassified secret documents from the 1960s. These files, released under the 30-year rule, reveal that Britain's stance was driven by high-stakes economic interests and the preservation of its colonial legacy. As you noted regarding the 2024 declaration by Dr. Ngozi Orubuez and the BRGIE, the name Biafra remains a powerful symbol of self-determination, which is exactly why the British government historically sought to suppress it. 1. The secret motivation, oil and Shell BP. Declassified files from the UK National Archives reveal that the primary reason the Harold Wilson government backed Nigeria against Biafra was oil. The Shell BP factor. At the time, Britain's largest investment in Africa was Shell BP's oil infrastructure, much of which was located in the eastern region, Biafra. The fear. Secret memos show that British officials feared that if Biafra became independent, it might nationalize the oil or lease it to other countries, like France. To protect British profits, they decided that one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flowed to London. 2. The Commonwealth preservation. Britain viewed Nigeria as its flagship colonial creation in Africa. Preventing a domino effect. Internal documents show British diplomats were terrified that if Biafra successfully broke away, it would lead to the balkanization, shattering, of other African nations. The name as a threat, the name Biafra, represented a challenge to the borders Britain had drawn in 1914. To acknowledge the name was to admit that the British colonial project of amalgamation had failed. 3. Psychological warfare and covert arms. Declassified files also reveal a secret campaign to manage public opinion. Denial of arms. While Harold Wilson told Parliament that Britain was only sending a trickle of defensive weapons, secret logs show they were actually the primary supplier of heavy ammunition and armored cars. The genocide problem. When reports of starvation in Biafra reached the British public, the government launched a presentation strategy. Memos show they advised the Nigerian government on how to convince the outside world that they weren't committing genocide, purely to avoid British public backlash. Summary table. Official stance versus secret files. Topic. Official British stance, 1967 to 1970. What secret files revealed? Why they supported Nigeria? To maintain peace and unity in Africa. To protect Shell BP oil interests. Arms supply. Small traditional amounts only. Massive shipments of heavy weapons and ammunition. The name Biafra, an illegal secessionist term. A threat to the British-designed map of Africa. Humanitarian crisis. They claimed to be doing all they could. They prioritized military victory over ending the starvation. The modern British government's sensitivity to the name Biafra is often seen as a continuation of this territorial integrity policy, as admitting the legitimacy of the name would involve confronting a very dark chapter of British foreign policy. Would you like me to look into specific declassified memos regarding the British oil company's correspondence during that time?
I hope you read with me and you listen to the audio voice. I hope you listen to this audio voice clearly. Why British hate Biafra? America, this program supposed to send, this document supposed to send to you to read this secret memo of why British never want us to exit. Not that we are not good to live, control our own. Not that we are bad people. Not that we are not living on our own before they come. But because of oil, because of the company they built in Old Eastern region, that is the only why that they don't want us to leave Nigeria. That is the only why the amalgamation of Nigeria was being held. That none of these idiots, where they were rightful here, his forefather never signed that Nigeria will be a country. No indigenous person of Nigeria signed because of what? Interest, because they know that if eventually any of them sign that they are the owner of the country, they have rights at any time to chase them away. And they will leave their oil company, Shell BP, in Old Eastern region. That is why we are going to allow the voice to play again, to listen to why British, why UK, London was against people of Biafra. And after 1967, how many countries has been created in Africa? And you can hear the lie they are telling the world here, that if they allow Biafra to become a country, that Biafra is going to create many countries in Africa. Now the question now remains, after 1970 to 2026, how many countries has British created in Africa? This is how you know the truth. And that is why we want the world to know that we are dying because of what we have. That is why we want the world to know that the failure of Nigeria to use 9 million to lobby is for us to continue to buy us, and this money they used to lobby, the 5 to 6 million was being sent by Britain, by UK and London, because they want to continue to keep the death sentence called One Nigeria, to be murdering and killing people, for them to continue taking the oil to London. Because we had it here, they said that if Biafra becomes a country, that Biafra will block them from having this oil, from having oil from Old Eastern region straight to London, that they might decide to give it to any other country, and which is true. Our president, Mazi Nnamdi Ogbukanu, said that Biafra will give many countries in the world, even in Africa, oil free for them to build their country. And so, because when you have what I have, there is no envy, there is no jealousness, there is no way you want to attack me. Also, British or UK or London was against that maybe the Biafran people will give France oil, they will give America oil, and they block everything. That is why you had it here, that they supply Nigeria weapon to cause this genocide of 1967 to 1970. And it happens. And they also sponsored Nigeria. When people talk about the genocide, don't worry, we know how to handle it. Till today, the war crime that Nigeria committed 1967 is supervised by what? By British, UK, London precisely. Listen to the document again as we are talking. We will continue playing it because we want the world to know why we are still today believe in what is in our ideology, what is in our blood. And this is the time, the appropriate time, that the world must, America, any Christian country must recognize Biafra. We are Judaism/Christians country that are going to help the world to quench the ongoing genocide that is happening in Nigeria, to quench the killings that is happening in Nigeria. How could we? Because of that oil is why British, why UK, London never want us to leave. They only prefer for us to be wiped away. That is why if you check the video of the Biafran genocidal war, you will see a white man shooting a Biafran. London, Federal Lugard and his governor, they supervise all these things. They give Nigeria sophisticated weapon to buy and destroy the people of Biafra. But the time has come. The karma is real. Revival is the case. We have revised and we have revisited why we're not a country. We find out that under international law, there is some little mistakes that we have made, and we have already created those mistakes through our declaration by the office of our Deputy Prime Minister, the only one, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, that are representing the entire Biafra. No any other government, no any other human being. And all her work in Washington, D.C. is being testified by the archive of America today. Let us listen again as we are going to be analyzing it gradually for people to understand it. For those that their conscience is to understand why Biafra is not a country. This is the only reason why. Whatever it takes to become a country, we overmet those criteria. Whatever it takes for us to become a country, we have overmet those criteria.
The tension between the British government and the name/concept of Biafra is not just a matter of modern politics. It is rooted in declassified secret documents from the 1960s.
Remember, it's not just modern politics. Take that word. It's not just more than what? Politics. It's because of this document from 1960, this file released under 30 years ruling, revealed that British his sentence was to divine by high-stake economic interests and the proclamation of the colonial legacy. For them to continue to maintain the legacy of in Africa today, colonial masters have never left. All the artificial border that's being created by British are still there. One of them is Nigeria. But I am Official AJ, good evening from here. Official, I'm asking question and needed an answer on comment section. Please, Official AJ, good evening. The question is, after 1970, how many countries has been created by British in Africa? Please, I know you are fast in research also. Just go through Google and ask. After British denied Biafra in 1967, how many countries did the British created in Africa? How many? Because of the lie they told the world. And when we are reading this audio voice, once we get to those lies, we will pause and do more justice on it. But why we are playing this audio in this way, for the world understands English very easily to hear it. Because the English is meant for them to understand also with Biafrans. And every person who comes across this platform to understand why Biafra is not a country. My question to the comment section is, after 1970, how many countries did British created in Africa? That is my question. So if you can help me to find the answer through Google, then you will understand why British hate Biafra. And you also send a message to Donald Trump, to Canada, to Russia, to Burkina Faso, to Kenya, for them to know that what there was being told to UN, to EU, to AU, that those lies that British told them in the past is not true. It's not true. That is because of the company that they have built and because of their selfish interest of oil, that is only Biafra will stop. And let me tell you this, in Africa, many of you are down because of the denial of Africa as a country, because of denying Biafra as a country, because Biafra could have given many countries in Africa oil free to build their country. So nobody will attack each other. And we sit on that. That is why our Prime Minister Simon never repeated the same thing, that the Biafra we are building is brain-based country, not oil country. That we are going to give the oil free. When you are okay, why come to attack me? If you are okay, why do you want to steal? We want to stop Africans from some slavery mentality. Yes, I just want to know, I just want to know how many numbers of countries has been created by British. I want us to be talking on the comment section also. How many countries? I know they created Zimbabwe. That one is for sure. 1990 Namibia. I want to refresh our mind. That is why I asked that question. Just how many countries has been created by British after 1967 to 2025? That was the question on the Google, please. Because there is one fool who is there that have come to disgrace himself. But I want to allow him to comment rubbish more.
These files, released under the 30-year rule, reveal that Britain's stance was driven by high-stakes economic interests and the preservation of its colonial legacy.
The only reason why is because of economic interest and to maintain the colonial border legacy, to colonial legacy, Islamization of all as Biafran people. To what? To Islamization of the Biafran people, of all the indigenous people who happen to be Christians that are living in that territory. And also because they know, that is why when they did not destroy anything about the Sokoto Caliphate. They allowed them. And that is them they have this agreement with. That we should allow us to take this oil to London. Then we should allow you to Islamize anybody who you want. And you do whatever you want in Nigeria. These are the things that are being on the line. These are the things that of this stage that we are into, that we as the Biafran people need to understand perfectly. My people, you can see the lies and the deceit. You can see the hatred of why we still remain under one Nigeria because of the interests of British. Donald Trump of America. That is why your name and your flag is here. That is why you can see Russia flag here. That is why you can see Canada flag and their name here. That is why you can see Burkina Faso and Kenya. That's why you can see UN, you can see AU, you can see EU also. We are tagging all of you. That enough is enough. Enough is enough of your silent Israel. Israel, do you see why we are dying? We are only dying because of our interest of oil. The interest of the British having oil in our land. That is only why their interest that they want to continue making our oil. That is the interest why British are allowing the Biafran people to be massacred. That is why the genocide is still going on. People that has died after 1967 genocidal war has passed those that has died in that particular war. And all this is happening because of the interest of the UK and London, of the oil interests of their company building south in all this region. This company must be destroyed because this country This company built on the blood of the innocent civilians of Biafra, the blood of the little children that was died through Kwashiorkor. Because of the hunger starvation. Because of the hunger starvation that killed our over 5 million children. Because of the company built a name of a company. It's why that this company allows the people to be slaughtered. My people, can you imagine that? Today, the revival is the case. And what happened, more than what happened that leads to Biafra is happening right now. But the happiness is that it's for the first time ever that we have a government that can handle this matter. And they are doing a very wonderful job for the Biafran people. Yes, in 1968, Switzerland gained independence from British in the middle of Biafran War, which Biafra has rejected, but which British has rejected the freedom of Biafra. British hate Biafra progress because of oil, nothing more than that, and the company they built to make us. Because of the company they built to make us. I want someone who will help to clarify. There is a question I'm asking and there's an answer. The question is, I want us to let me know if those that have been following me here are still remembering things that we discussed in the past. If we're still on the syndrome of fear and forgot, I want somebody to look at this question to answer me on the comment section. After 1967 Biafra War ended, how many countries did British created in that got their independence in Africa? Please, I want somebody to ask this on the Google. So you will see that what I'm doing is all about research, and I don't just do something. I want you to join me also. Just type, after Biafran War ended 1970, how many countries did the British created in Africa alone? How many? Yes, it's more than 2. Official age is more than 2. I'm waiting for you to get exact number on the comment section. How many countries in Africa alone that British created in Africa? Or you may ask, before 1967 to 1970 Biafran War, how many countries exist in Africa? Or how many countries that made up of Africa? Through that, then you will use that to compare 56 we have right now. Then you get the exact answer. So you will do plus and minus. Between 1967 to 1970, how many countries made up of Africa? Then you now ask, after 1967, how many countries that British created in Africa? Yes, Zimbabwe and yes, they are there, but there is more to that. When you go deep, you find the answer I'm looking for. I want to keep those documentation busy. Just type on the Google, you can find it. It's not very difficult. As I'm waiting for your answer perfectly, we must continue. Why British hate Biafran people? Why UK, London never want Biafra as a country? Donald Trump. And the only way you can understand it perfectly, we want them to know that nobody signed that Nigeria is a country. So nothing like respecting territorial integrity. The country that has territorial integrity was being signed by the indigenous people, by human beings. Not like Nigeria that nobody signed. Nobody signed that Nigeria is a country. Nobody. Mention the name of the person if you know. If I know that you are ready for the argument. Come up. Call me on phone. I will give you a number to call. Let us do the argument. If any indigenous person sign that Nigeria is a country, that they accepted Nigeria with willingly, if not by force or because of the oil and gas in the old Eastern region, that they told them, oh, when we amalgamated Nigeria, when we bring these people together, they will use the money from the oil, you use it and build your own country. And we will take as much as we want from this old Eastern region. We will fly the oil straight to London. Till today, that is why Biafra people are dying. That is why you are seeing genocide is going on in Nigeria today, because of the amalgamation. The foundation of amalgamation must be destroyed because it's an evil. It's hatred. It's envy. It's jealousness. What makes them? This interest of business, economy. Interest of human being. There. The world must change this interest of economy that they use to destroy people's life. The entire world must change it and have the people interest at first, not interest of business, interest of economy at first. That is why many things are going wrong today. That is why many things are going wrong because of the so-called interest of oil. That's because of the sole interest of economy. That is why the things are not going well. That is why people are suffering. That is why some countries today are messed up. Because of interest of one bigger country that want to dealt and make their oil, make the resources from them and enrich themselves. That is why we are calling all the entire continent of the world to make the world a better place. Because when you are continuing doing that, you are bringing more war. The next generation will act. So for you to put an end for the next generation to act, you must allow every people to live according to their tribal line, according to their ideology.
As you noted regarding the 2024 declaration by Dr. Ngozi Orubuez and the BRGIE, the name Biafra remains a powerful symbol of self-determination, which is exactly why the British government historically sought to suppress it.
Do you hear it? Why the British continuously to suppress people of Biafra? Till today, I'm talking to you. In the Commonwealth, we don't talk about Biafra because British was in charge. In the inside Commonwealth, you don't talk about Biafra. Because of what? Britain is in charge of Commonwealth. That is why they continue to suppress people of Biafra. Because of what? They know that once Biafra, Donald Trump, they are suppressing us because they know that we will give you this oil. Africa, if Biafra people are being suppressed, Kenya, Burkina Faso, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, and Mozambique, we are being suppressed because we are going to allow you to get from this oil to make a better country by yourself. France, they mentioned your name. Forget that thing that Nigeria is doing with you. It's a false business. Because they know that we are ready to give this many countries, or they said that they want to block for giving many countries in Africa, in the world, this oil. That is why they block Biafra. That is why they hate Biafra. That is why they want us to exist. They only want to be taking the oil. That is all they care for. But we have come to stop it in this 21st century. Whether like it or not. Thunder will fire Britain, London, and UK for their evil acts, for cleaning our people, buying our people every blessed day. We are not going to accept it anymore. We are here to denounce. We are here to reject. We have reject Nigeria. We prove it to the world November the 20th, 2024 by people that gathered in Latin Finland, making our declaration of that country that was exist for 3 years, that get recognition from 4 countries in Africa. Yes, you get the answer what I'm looking for. After 1970, another more 13 countries has created in Africa. Obi is not my brother. Obi is a traitor. He's a betrayer to the people of Biafra. And he cannot stop us, because after 1967, that British denied Biafra because of oil, 13 countries has been created in Africa. And the while the British told the world that Biafra will generate many more countries in Africa. Now, without Biafra, who give them the power to create 13 countries in Africa more? Who gives them the power to create more 13 countries in Africa? Victor Eddie, thank you so much. I know you will get it. That is why I continue hitting on you. We have it here. 13 countries has been generated in Africa after denying of Biafra. Because of what? Oil interest. Obi can never rule Nigeria. This is my another year saying it. In his first time I said it on the program, and it goes viral. I have said it on the Damage program. He is deceiving himself. Obi is what? Deceiving himself. Juliet, thanks so much for coming. Kabu Eka, thank you so much. I see you. Yes, what Obi is trying to is never exist, because British said that if any Igbo man enters here, it might be giving power for Biafra as a country, that Biafra person has been ruling. So Obi is deceiving himself. He's a betrayer. Obi is a Fulani in blood. That is why he's messing up. Just continue.
1. The secret motivation, oil and Shell BP.
The secret motivation of creating one Nigeria, oil and Shell BP, to maintain taking oil, to maintain Shell BP. This Shell BP company must be brought down. It must be destroyed. But in due time, Biafra government will destroy it in a time to come. When it's normal time to brought it, we must brought this, because it's because of this company was built before 1970. It's already there. That is why they said, listen, let me not be going to say it. Listen to it.
Declassified files from the UK National Archives reveal that the primary reason the Harold Wilson government backed Nigeria against Biafra was oil.
Are you hearing it? Inside the archive is where I pick it out today. Inside the archive of UK, revealed that the primary reason that Harold Wilson government backed Nigeria against Biafra was oil. Because of oil, America, Russia, Canada, Israel, because of oil. That is why the massacre, that is why the genocide that happened 1967 to 1970 is still going on. Because of this oil. Because of what? Oil. That is why they continuously, till today, keeping us down. But we have arisen through our declaration by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, November the 20th, 2024. Now that we are going into peaceful movement of words, legal, diplomatic, political pressure, and media pressure. This is the 4 criteria we wish to achieve it, and the government is doing absolutely well. Our allies, please endeavor to do it very fast, because people are dying more and more. We are not in a hurry, but somehow we are, because of what we have been passing through in hands of that thing called One Nigeria, that no indigenous person signed. I challenge you to come and challenge me. Who signed Nigeria as a country? Bring the evidence. I will bring my evidence. Come with your spirit argument that Nigeria is being signed as a country like every other country. Go and check in the history. I have gone around searching, checking in these countries that are those that have their country. Nobody, any of them, the smallest one was a country where only 13 people signed. Oh, the smallest one was a country where only 13 people signed. Others, people signed for it. Go and ask of how many countries made up of the whole country in this world. Those that have been organized by the UN. Those are members of the UN. Those that have fully granted their independence and become automatically official anyhow sovereignty. Ask how many of them that their people sign their signature before they accepted their country. Type it on the Google, they will give it to you also. You will not find Nigeria there. Yes. Even as of today, there is another move that the government made, but we will discuss that one tomorrow. If you go to this history, it's only Nigeria that nobody signed that this is a country we have adopted to enter this country, like the people of USB. Do you know we signed USB 2 times? We signed that the name we are going to answer is USB. When we declare it as a name of a country, over 1,000 people signed the signature also. America was only 56 people that signed that America should be a country. Only 56. What of South Emirates? Only 48 people signed. What of Finland? Only 25 people signed. Go and check the history. Then you will know that Nigeria is not a country. It is a business center. It is a company of British. They are the owner. And because of this company, that is why we are dying. That is why we have realized who we are and rise up and said, hell no to this company. That you have right to buy people, to arrest people, to sue people to court, to detain them as you want because of you are the owner of the company. We don't want to belong to this owner again. We have distanced ourselves by our redeclaration of the people of Minister of Biafra. That is who we are.
The Shell BP factor. At the time, Britain's largest investment in Africa was Shell BP's oil infrastructure, much of which was located in the eastern region, Biafra.
Do you hear it? The Shell BP factor. At the time, British legacy investment in Africa was Shell BP oil infrastructure, much of which was located in the eastern region, Biafra. I can see good evening. Yes, people signed that Biafra is a country. Nobody signed that Nigeria is a country. Nobody. Not even this one who is commenting jargon. I don't have time to answer. When he comments more nonsense, I will block him. May no one Nigeria happen to you. May what happened to a family on 16th of November? One family was being pied because of a knot by the French jihadists. May they visit you and your family. May they visit you and your family. Yes, Biafra language, now that we are seeking for recognition, Biafra language will not give me recognition. I will grant recognition once I will be using my name, my language. Once the recognition we are waiting, like what happened to the people of Somaliland. Once it's happened to us, then we as the Biafran people use our language, because Igbo language is not giving freedom. But when we achieve it, then we will use it. When Donald Trump wants to invade Nigeria, did he speak American language? Wamug. We are blaming everybody because they refuse to allow us to go. Nigeria, Britain, UK sponsored Nigeria till today in the killing of the Biafran people. How can we leave them alone? Why did they not allow us to be? Why did British block us to be a country? But after they said that Biafra, if they allow Biafra to become a country, that Biafra is going to create many more countries in Africa. After they have denied Biafra, suppressed us from 1970, British later created 13 countries more in Africa. Why are we not going to blame them? They are our downfall. They are the one who give Nigeria a weapon. Listen to what I'm reading. And because of their interest of their company, Shell BP company, That is why they said if Biafra is a country, if you give them Biafra as a country, that they are not going to allow us to take oil from the Odisha region to London. And you ask me, I should not blame them. Why can't? Because I know where my problem started. Why do they interfere in the war between Nigeria and Biafra? Why do they come in at all? And why do they come and side one people? Yes, it's because of the oil. That is why your people are stupidly answering one Nigeria. Have you asked yourself? Type on the Google, ask British, if there is no oil, there is no palm kernel and cocoa, can you create Nigeria as a country? Find an answer. They will tell you, I have got it here. They said no. But because of the interest of the oil and the palm kernel and the cocoa, that is why it's being created. That they find oil in Odisha region. They also find somehow palm kernel in Odisha region. And that is why we created Nigeria. The English is not by them, and we are not forcing them. We are ready to leave them. You can't see anything to write. And look at the garbage you are writing, because the figure, the truth is here in front of you. You can't make a challenge of it. Why are you writing it now? Because of company somebody built. That is why he allowed all this blood to be wasted. That is why he allowed people to undergo under torture, under killings, under abuse of rights, under intimidation, because of their so-called interests of oil. Let them leave Biafra land. We will stop speaking their language and use our language. This country where they don't speak English, they speak their language direct. Even if I want to talk to them, I have to go and translate.
Fear. Secret memos show that British officials...
Listen, that the British, they fear. The secret memo shows that the British officially are afraid that Biafra becoming independence, it might neutralize the oil or lease it to other countries. You see the greedy of the British. Look at their greediness. Donald Trump, America, the congressmen who are planning to present divide of Nigeria to British. Please also remember that why it's happening is because of what? Oil. That is why they want to kill us, because of their company. And their fear is that we are going to give you the oil, you America. Their fear is that they are going to give France oil. Their fear is because we are going to give many countries in Africa oil, so they cannot be able to control them anymore. That is their fear. That is the fear of so-called England, UK, and London today. That is why they do the amalgamation. The amalgamation of Nigeria is because of what? Mineral resources. Not any other thing. The interest.
Feared that if Biafra became independent, it might nationalize the oil or lease it to other countries, like France. To protect British profits, they decided that one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flowed to London.
Do you get it clearly? Yes, my brother. Suku. The truth is always bitter. That is why Polo is writing rubbish. The fear of British is what? The secret memo shows that British officially are afraid that if Biafra becomes independent, it might neutralize the oil or lease it out to other countries like France. To protect British profile, they decided that the one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flow to London. They ensure by suppressing people of Biafra, by giving Nigeria arm to buy us through the genocidal war. That only if they maintain one Nigeria, and that is only reason why they will take the oil to London. So the oil will flow to London. They have started, they built the pipe from Odisha region. They have passed Morocco over 3 years ago. They have passed Morocco. Do you see the only what? The only concern is this oil. British. Their only concern. UK, London, England. Their only interest is this oil. That Biafran people are too smart. They are too Republican in nature. They are too Democrat in nature. They are too wise. They will not allow us to take the oil the way we want. For that, the only way we can take it is to bring them and call them one Nigeria. Child. And the people are answering one Nigeria. For oil to flow to London, that is why you answer one Nigeria. Are you not an idiot? On my comment section. You're not a fool. You answer a country because of what your country you will use to build you a better country. What will give you child benefit. Do you know that in this country I am, that people that deliver a child here, they use child benefit to train themselves. Child benefit. If this oil was stable, if the oil was being managed by the Biafran people, why are we traveling? We can only pay visit and come back. And there will be a good road everywhere. There will be 24 hours light. There will be stable internet. There will be a good hospital. There will be a good market. The price of the things we normalize, like this country where I am, where I can use like their 1,000. I can use to get what I'll eat in a whole day. Come on, 1,000. In Nigeria, what can 1,000 give you? Bread. And here I can use coins to buy bread I'll eat 2 days. They have small oil here that Nigeria has bigger one more than them. Their citizens are not working. We work 14, 12 hours. Their citizens only work 8 hours or 6 hours. They will go home. Every month, there is the one the government is paying them. Those who want to work, they work more. Yes, today, there is bandit attack. They never see anything. It's going to reach everybody's turn. But not, it's only on us. Onyangos, good evening from here. It's been long. I see you and Abarosia. Thank you so much. Please answer him, Official AJ. First, let me leave him. They fear why British amalgamated one Nigeria. They fear. America, remember your flag is here. And today, Nigeria has started lobbying you for you to help them to lie and cover their shame and their evil. But we know that you will not accept that. She's okay, you're welcome. We know that you cannot accept it and you never. That is why I make it open for the world to see who Nigeria is and what they are doing. What are they lobbying for? They are lobbying for you to remove your eyes so they can be able to wipe away the Christians and the indigenous people. For the oil to see flee to London. For the oil in Odisha region, in the southeast Biafra land, for this oil to see flee to London. That is why they are that British helped them to give Nigeria $5 million for them to give to America. Lobby, so they can be able to lobby for them that America should remove their eyes. Today, there is an attack in Aja. There is ongoing, there is an attack in Aja today. From the bandits, from the Boko Haram, from ISWA, from the Lakra, from the ICC. That is why we are telling Donald Trump that the only way is to decentralize Nigeria, divide it, let everybody go according to their culture, and they will protect their border. Nobody will have chance to invade anymore. Let us destroy this colonial artificial border by British that are ruling Nigeria. If you free Biafra, you have freed this colonial boundary that is killing people today. Israel, we are the Judaism, we are the Christians. You need to come. You need to come. Before I will go and play the voice of Mazen Nandekan, there is a reason that voice connected to this program I'm doing today. Because that voice lead me to do the research I did today. It might neutralize it might nationalize the oil, or list that Biafra will nationalize the oil. They cannot have hand on it anymore, or they lease it to the other countries. So British London, UK is afraid that we have to give other countries oil for them to be a better country. They are afraid that we are going to give other countries this oil for other countries to be what? A better country. Could you imagine the greediness? Could you see the greediness of Britain, UK, and London? You had it here. Their name was, moreover, that UK was being mentioned. Why UK blocked Biafra? That they are afraid that we are going to seize the oil and we are going to give it to other countries. So we are letting other countries to know that it is true that we are going to give you the oil. Now, grant us recognition so we can give you this oil free. So your people will be okay. To protect British profits, they decided that one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flew to London. That only way is to do what? One Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flew to London. Are you hearing it? This is why the people of Biafra is dying today. This is why British is killing us today. For them to have chance to take oil. For them to take oil as the more they want. Calculated, if not for greediness, from 1967 to 2020, how many years? Please, can somebody help me to calculate? Can you calculate from 1966 precisely to 2026? How many years? Let's forget about 1914. It's very far. Count from 1967 to 2025. How many years that British has taken this oil and it's not enough for them? And they bring Bible to us. They bring Christianity to us. Those that bring Christianity to us have an agreement with those that are not Christian. Could you see the 419? UK is a 419. England is 419. London is a 419. That is who they are. They bring us Bible and they are taking the oil. If the Bible was being valued by you, why can't you take the Bible and leave the oil for us? Thunder will fire UK. Let's continue.
2. The Commonwealth preservation. Britain viewed Nigeria as its flagship colonial creation in Africa.
The Commonwealth preservation. British viewed Nigeria as the flagship colonial creation in Africa. Yes, now it is. And it is remain that way. That is why we must change it. That is why exit of Biafra from you must change it. Britain. We must exit from this colonial era. We must. The time has come. Israel, the time has come for you to help us to exit. How can you help us? Recognition. Back us up to defend our border and our territory. We are going to allow you to build military base in our own country. From that, you can chase away the Boko Haram, the ICC. If you check how many kilometers it takes you from Biafra land to bomb ICC and how many kilometers it takes you from America to bomb them in Sokoto, the difference is clear. We are going to give you this privilege. We are going to give you this chance. Is how we are going to make the world a better place. So those indigenous people in the north can be free to live. And your eyes will be very clear and close to those that are causing this mayhem. That is why we are asking you. That's why we are calling. And we are the better allies. We are the better opportunity. We are the savior. We are the solution. To people in the north, to people in the middle belt, we are the solution. We are their hope. We are their savior. Once Biafra get recognition, once America recognizes us, it is over. You don't need to plead Nigeria to recognize us as a country because nobody signed that Nigeria is a country. Only on that document alone is okay. Only the document alone gives you the right that Nigeria has no territorial integrity. What they have is a company be owned by British. That's what they have. Let's continue.
Preventing a domino effect. Internal documents show British diplomats were terrified that if Biafra successfully broke away, it would lead to the balkanization, shattering, of other African nations.
Are you hearing it? This is their lie. Now, why do I say it's a lie? After 1967 to 1970 war, British created 13 countries more in Africa. 13 countries more in Africa. And look at it. Internal document shows that British diplomats were testified that if Biafra successfully broke away, it would be lead to the balkanization, shattered of other African nations. This is the lie they told America. Canada, you asked about us in that time. This is the lie they told you. But can you see that after they have chased you away, that the same British was the one, that the same UK, that the same London was the one that created 13 countries more in Africa? Because those ones does not have oil. Because those ones does not have oil, like people like Eritrea and Namibia, they allowed them to become a country. Seychelles, Zimbabwe, Zambia, many of them, name them, 13 more in Africa. These 13 are the ones that are member of the UN, not those that are not member. Not those that are not member. They created 13 countries in Africa after they have denied Biafra as a country. And look at it. That is why things are not going well. That is why things are under a lot of problems, a lot of crisis here and there. We are calling the world to hear us clearly this time around. The only way to save this life is by letting Biafran people to go. Without us going, Nigeria want to build a safe haven where they will gather all these Boko Haram, ICC, Lakrawa, you know what I mean. That is where they're going to get all of them together to attack America in the future, to attack Israel more, to help those that want to attack America, those that want to attack any Christian country as well. Canada, they will attack you. Australia, Austria, Germany. With recognizing Biafra, all of you are going to go down in the future. Your people will cry. We are preventing that in the future. That is why recognizing Biafra is the most prominent thing that will happen. The Congressman of America, Washington, D.C., we are calling on you to present it fully with all this fact and figure. Check if Nigeria was signed by any indigenous person. You, America, your people's 56 of you signed that you want America as an independent country out of Great Britain. The one that Britain holds left, right, and center today is Nigeria. So we are calling on you that you don't need permission from Nigeria. Our declaration gives all of you the power. Under international law, external, that is secession external, under declaration is what we have achieved. So that is why you have power to recognize Biafra and give us what it takes to defend ourselves. We want it to become legal. We don't want to see us as rebel anymore. We want to see us as threat to the world. We want you to see us as an indigenous people who value the life. And what you care so much is what we are going to help you to protect. That is why we ask for this recognition. That is why we are calling on all of you on our program to please do the needful. You have had it why British blocked Biafra today, not to become a country today. After you have had all this, what are you still waiting for? What are you still waiting for? We must continue.
The name as a threat, the name Biafra.
The name Biafra, the name is a threat to British. Why? The name Biafra, let us go.
Represented a challenge to the borders Britain had drawn in 1914. To acknowledge the name was to admit that the British colonial project of amalgamation had failed.
Are you hearing it? America, who amalgamated you? France, who amalgamated you? I want to see that country that was amalgamated in the way Nigeria is being amalgamated by Britain. The name as threats, the name Biafra represented a challenge to the border British had drawn in 1941. All the borders they are created, but they have broke all these borders by allowing 13 countries emerge. But what of our own? Because of oil. because of their company they build in our territory. That is why, because they know that once we are free, like they told you here, that we are not going to allow them, that we are not going to allow them to take oil anymore, that we are going to give it to those that we love and we want them to become a full country on their own, that we're going to use it to support Africans all and give it to the Europe, anybody who asks of it, that when we said you are genuine to use to make a better country. That is who we are. We are that people who love to give, and they find it out, that they know that we will not give it to them because they are greedy. Why can't we give it to them if they did not do amalgamation, or when we decide to exit? If they know that they have, it's not ulterior motive, it's not greediness of British or UK or London or England. If it is not for that, they could recognize Biafra, and we might give them this oil also. But what is the big eyes? What is that? What is that greediness? The greediness is that they want to be the one in charge, and they know that with Biafra, they are not going to be in charge. We are not going to allow oil to flow in London. That is why they hate us. These are the reasons they hate people of Biafra. These are the only reasons why they hate us as people of Biafra. They also said that to acknowledge the name was to admit that the British colonial project of amalgamation had failed. It must fail in 2026. It's already failed, but it's going to fail internationally. That is what we are pushing for. We are pushing for this to fail internationally, not only on our own side. Then all the colonial border, these artificial borders, must be destroyed, because you are the one that created artificial border in Africa, and you must exit from it. We have come to end it all.
3. Psychological warfare and covert arms. Declassified files also reveal a secret campaign to manage public opinion.
This archive, the secret file, also proving the campaign to manage public options. Britain was one who managed Nigerian public options, like the way they want the lobby men in America to manage their option of crisis. Listen to that.
Denial of arms. While Harold Wilson told Parliament that Britain was only sending a trickle of defensive weapons, secret logs show they were actually the primary supplier of heavy ammunition and armored cars. The genocide.
Do you hope we have that is clearly? Denial of arms. When people ask them why Howard Wilson told Parliament that British was only sending a trickle of defensive weapon secretly, long shows that they were actually the primary supply of heavily armed and armored cars to Nigeria. When we are fighting, UK, London, through Howard Wilson, the evil man who sent ammunition to Nigeria, armored tankers, bomb secretly to Nigeria for them to bomb people of Biafra. This is how we lead to genocide. And also, it shows that the primary supply of all the heavily armed was being sent through who? Through London, UK, England, towards Howard Wilson. These are the man that propagated Nigeria to become a country and give Nigeria a weapon to defeat people of Biafra. Let us go to genocide.
Problem. When reports of starvation in Biafra reached the British public, the government launched a presentation strategy. Memos show they advised the Nigerian government on how to convince the outside world that they weren't committing genocide, purely to avoid British public backlash.
Are you hearing it? They did everything. They are the one that did everything for people of Nigeria. They are the one. When issue of the genocide reported, observation of Biafra reaching the British public, the government launched a memo chose that the Nigerian government on how to convince the outside world that there were no committed genocide, purely avoid British public backlash with other countries. Because of what? Oil company that have built that through this company, the oil will flew to London. In summary.
Summary table. Official stance versus secret files. Topic: Official British stance, 1967 to 1970. What secret files revealed? Why they supported Nigeria? To maintain peace and unity in Africa. To protect Shell BP oil interests. Arms supply. Small traditional amounts only. Massive shipments of heavy weapons and ammunition. The name Biafra, an illegal secessionist term. A threat to the British-designed map of Africa. Humanitarian crisis. They claimed to be doing all they could. They prioritized military victory over ending the starvation. The modern British government's sensitivity to the name Biafra is often seen as a continuation of this territorial integrity policy, as admitting the legitimacy of the name would involve confronting a very dark chapter of British foreign policy. Would you like me to look into specific declassified memos regarding the British oil company's correspondence during that time?
I hope you are listening. Please, if it's the first time you are joining me, please, I urge you to click on three dots in front of your phone. There is a three dots on the way I'm pointing my hand on the right hand side on top of your screen. Look at it. Click on that dot, it will open. You will see, like, and share. Please share this program. Let it go viral. As Biafran topic is on top of the world right now, so they can be able to see more evidence why Nigeria is not a country, that they have right to let us, ask us to go. Please endeavor to do that. And also put your comment. It encourages more and more whenever we read comments on the comment section. Look at what happened. Official British sentence in 1967 to 1970. Why secret fly revealed? All these secrets. Why is it being a topic? Why the British supported Nigeria? Listen. To maintain peace and unity in Africa. Pure lie. To maintain to flee oil from London, from Biafra land to London. That is why you supported them. Nothing. To protect interests of your company. These are two reasons why you support Nigeria. Now, where is it? To protect Shell BP oil interests. This is the secret. The secret is what? To protect their Shell oil BP interests from where they will be taking the oil straight to London. That is why they supported Nigeria. That is why they allow the genocide to happen. That is why they are still suppressing us down till today. Are you listening, my people? Now, let's continue. Arms supply. Small traditional amount only. Lies. Lies. Massive shipment of heavy weapons and ammunition. This is a secret being found out, revealed, that they are the ones supply Nigeria all the things they use to suppress people of Biafra down. Now let's continue. The name Biafra. See how they say the name Biafra. An illegal secession term. You see, not the illegal for us to. An illegal. Imagine them. Imagine the lies. Imagine the deceit. A threat on the British design map of Africa. That Biafra is a threat. And we are the threat to you till eternity. Because we want to stop you from manipulating and we want to destroy this artificial border you put on Africa. Only Biafra will end it up. You know that with us you cannot take it anymore. You know that with us you can't do it anymore. That is why you hate us without no reason. That is why you never want Biafra to become a country. That is the reason why. Because of your stupid interest of Shell BP company that we are going to destroy in due time. Now, a threat to the British design map of Africa. In this your design map of Africa, that you said that if you allow Biafra to become a country, that Biafra is going to create more countries in Africa. Then why, after you denied Biafra in 1970, from 1970 to 2026, you have created 13 countries in Africa? Why more 13 countries come outside? Why more 13 countries that you created in Africa after you have destroyed people of Biafra? Now, this is a pure lie. The America, the Canada, the Israel, the Russia, Burkina Faso, Kenya, look at it here. That is why they created, because of this oil. because they said that we want to give this oil free to Africa or some European country. They even mentioned France. They talk about France, that we want to give France oil what? Free. That is why they're not going to allow us to stay. They look at it. Crisis. They claim to be doing all they could. That is what they said. They prioritized military victory over ending that invasion. By who? By Great Britain. That's what they did. In summary, listen. In summary of all this, the modern British government secretly, that name Biafra till today never wanted to exist. They see as a continuation of the territory integrity policy. They see us that we are a threat to all the territory integrity. Again, in this 21st century, we are proving to the world that we only care, that we only want to maintain our own territory, not to cross to any other person's territory. Because before the 1940 amalgamation, we are living, we did not encroach to anybody's territory. We did not collect any land from anybody. We did not go to people's border and fight and chase them away. We never do that in the past. So it's not now we're going to do it. So we want you to see the lies they are being told about us. And this lie has put us in a lot of pains, agony, sufferness that we want to end, to be a free people. That also causing the killings that we are seeing today in old eastern region, in the north, in all over. Today, there was an attack in Lagos State. There was an attack. So there was an attack in Lagos State. Only Biafra recognition to decentralize Nigeria is what will end all this attack, and there will be no more killing. Everywhere will be quiet. Everybody will stay according to their border, according to their tribal line, according to their region, according to what they believe, and everything will be peaceful. That is why you must do it this time around, not tomorrow, not never. We need it very fast. That is why. The name would involve confronting very dark chapter of British foreign policy. We are going to put an end to all of you, whether you like it or not. We are going to be your end, and the time has come for the Biafra to be the end of this evil enclave, British, UK, London, and that thing they call one Nigeria. That simply means a death sentence to every indigenous person. We must continue. I will play it more once before we go to the next one.
The tension between the British government and the name/concept of Biafra is not just a matter of modern politics. It is rooted in declassified secret documents from the 1960s. These files, released under the 30-year rule, reveal that Britain's stance was driven by high-stakes economic interests and the preservation of its colonial legacy. As you noted regarding the 2024 declaration by Dr. Ngozi Orubuez and the BRGIE, the name Biafra remains a powerful symbol of self-determination, which is exactly why the British government historically sought to suppress it. 1. The secret motivation, oil and Shell BP. Declassified files from the UK National Archives reveal that the primary reason the Harold Wilson government backed Nigeria against Biafra was oil. The Shell BP factor. At the time, Britain's largest investment in Africa was Shell BP's oil infrastructure, much of which was located in the eastern region, Biafra. The fear. Secret memos show that British officials feared that if Biafra became independent, it might nationalize the oil or lease it to other countries, like France. To protect British profits, they decided that one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flowed to London. 2. The Commonwealth preservation. Britain viewed Nigeria as its flagship colonial creation in Africa. Preventing a domino effect. Internal documents show British diplomats were terrified that if Biafra successfully broke away, it would lead to the balkanization, shattering, of other African nations. The name as a threat, the name Biafra, represented a challenge to the borders Britain had drawn in 1914. To acknowledge the name was to admit that the British colonial project of amalgamation had failed. 3. Psychological warfare and covert arms. Declassified files also reveal a secret campaign to manage public opinion. Denial of arms. While Harold Wilson told Parliament that Britain was only sending a trickle of defensive weapons, secret logs show they were actually the primary supplier of heavy ammunition and armored cars. The genocide problem. When reports of starvation in Biafra reached the British public, the government launched a presentation strategy. Memos show they advised the Nigerian government on how to convince the outside world that they weren't committing genocide. purely to avoid British public backlash. Summary table. Official stance versus secret files. Topic. Official British stance, 1967 to 1970. What secret files revealed? Why they supported Nigeria. To maintain peace and unity in Africa. To protect Shell BP oil interests. Arms supply. Small traditional amounts only. Massive shipments of heavy weapons and ammunition. The name Biafra, an illegal secessionist term. A threat to the British-designed map of Africa. Humanitarian crisis. They claimed to be doing all they could. They prioritized military victory over ending the starvation. The modern British government's sensitivity to the name Biafra is often seen as a continuation of this territorial integrity policy, as admitting the legitimacy of the name would involve confronting a very dark chapter of British foreign policy. Would you like me to look into specific declassified memos regarding the British oil company's correspondence during that time?
I hope you heard it clearly. That because of two things, oil and their company to exist in our own territory, that is why they deny Biafra. That is why they hate us so much. Because also that we are good people, that we are going to give other countries in Africa or in Europe oil for them to be a better country. They only want only themselves to be the highest power. They only want themselves to build the better countries in the world. That is what they plan. So that is why they denied us. They say we are not a threat to anybody. We don't carry arm. We don't carry knife. We only believe in the name of Chukwu Okabia who lives in heaven, and we do our own thing. And we respected human rights, human culture, human respect. We are doing all these things. We are not a threat. Please, we are letting Israel to know that. We are letting, look at our brothers in your countries, in your militaries, in your offices, in America, in Russia, in Finland, in every other places in the world, in Israel, in Austria, in Australia, in Iceland. Are we a threat to you? The evidence is everywhere that we are not a threat. Rather, we are the people who want to live like you. We have what it takes. We want to make the world a better place. We want to end these people that want to, we're going to bomb all of you in the future. Denying of Biafra is you are denying yourself. You are exposing yourself to danger. But Biafra will end all this. That is why it's very important at this stage that all of you create in line to understand the people of Biafra has bring a solution, everlasting solution to all this impunity, to all these names, to all this by everywhere. We are the solution to it. By how? Now that we have made our official declaration with our document under secession, remedial secession, external, please, we need recognition. Remember that our declaration took place in Lati, Finland on November the 29th, 2024 by one and only Dr. Ngozi Arabeze as the DPM, as the acting Prime Minister. No other one. Save all this in your archive because that is a true history, and it is very important to know the truth, and the truth is always bitter. The world, we are calling on all of you. That's why when we said we are calling on America, we are calling on Israel, Canada, Russia, Burkina Faso, Kenya, to maintain what you said in Adi Burkina Faso, to maintain what you said in the summit in South Africa. 2025. Remember your word that the Biafra issue is no longer internal affair of Nigeria, rather it becomes external affair. They have gang up, they have done their meeting with bandits, they have had their meeting with all their elites today, no, yesterday, that they will never allow us to go. What is that they will not allow us to go? They say that we are bad people. Now that we have decided to go, why are they keeping us? That is why we are calling on all of you to help us. That with the mind that will really mean to exit Nigeria. That Nigeria simply means a death sentence to every indigenous person. We are asking for words. Only one thing, recognition. That is all we are asking for. That is all we are asking for. Please, grant us recognition as we are looking for that. We did not commit any crime. We did not commit any offense. It is our right to live. That is the only thing that we are asking for. So please, as you join me, please like and share the program. Sorry that they have hacked the network has could not allow me to see the comments anymore. The page is somehow under attack. If you look very well on my video, you will see how it is checking. But we are not going to stop. I want to thank you all for being here. Those that are here, I see you, Ben. Thank you so much. I see you, Thomas. Thank you. I see you, Onyangos. Thank you so much for your comment. Please keep it on coming. I will be checking through my phone to see those that are commenting perfectly. So it is very important to listen to the truth, and it is only this truth will set us free. Only on this truth that we as the people of Biafra will be free. There is no other way. The truth is being meant to set people free, and we are here to be free. We are not going to wait for anybody anymore. The truth is what we are letting the world to know. Let us continue on the issue of this particular document of the secret memo of Britain. Why they never want us to be a country, and why they want the world to remain silent. Why Nigeria is lobbying $9 million for the world. For them to do what? For them to keep silent so they can be able to continue with the British, killing the people of Biafra, taking us away in this time that we are living. That is why we, the Biafran people, have said no. That is why we want you to know that we already know why they don't want us to be a country. And look at it into your own understanding. View it very well. Is it true that people are not a country because of what they have, and because of we are ready to help other countries in the world? That is why they want to buy us. That is why they are killing us. Save us by allowing us to get this recognition. Then we will help, like they thought they told you already, that we are going to give the oil free, that we are going to give to countries that want it, that needed to build their own country to be a better place. That is what we are going to do. Listen to this as we continue.
Yes, you are exactly right. Declassified documents confirm that while the British government publicly talked about peace and unity, their private priority was oil. Specifically, secret memos from the National Archives show that Britain's hostility toward Biafra was a calculated move to protect their energy security and massive financial investments. 1. The Shell BP Protection Plan. In 1967, British investment in Nigeria was worth roughly £200 million, billions in today's money, and the majority of that was held by Shell BP. The location. Most of the oil was in the eastern region, Biafra. The conflict. If Biafra became independent, Britain feared the new nation might sell that oil to other countries, like France, or raise taxes. The decision. Secret files show British officials decided that supporting the federal military government of Nigeria was the safest bet to keep the oil flowing under existing favorable terms. 2. The Middle East crisis connection. A secret factor often overlooked is the 1967 Six-Day War in the Middle East. During that war, the Suez Canal was closed, and Arab nations began an oil embargo against Britain. This made Nigerian oil, which was high-quality sweet crude and located outside the Middle East, absolutely vital to the UK's survival. Memos show the British cabinet felt they could not afford to lose access to the Biafran oil fields, even if it meant supporting a devastating war. 3. Preventing balkanization. The British hated the name Biafra because it threatened the map they had drawn. They feared that if Biafra succeeded, it would trigger a domino effect across Africa, where other ethnic groups would demand their own countries. This would have destroyed the British Commonwealth influence in Africa. They wanted one large, stable Nigeria that they could influence from London, rather than many small, independent states they couldn't control. Key evidence from the declassified files. The only direct British interest in Nigeria is that we should continue to have a market there and that the oil should continue to flow. Internal British Memo, 1967. Official public reason. Secret document reason. We want to stop the bloodshed. We must ensure Shell BP's assets are safe. We are only sending a few defensive arms. We must supply the ammunition needed to end the war quickly. Self-determination is not practical here. A Biafran victory would encourage France to take over the oil. The 2024 Declaration of the United States of Biafra, USB, that you mentioned, is essentially a modern challenge to this same century-old British policy of maintaining one Nigeria at all costs. Would you like me to find the specific quotes from British officials regarding how they plan to manage the public's reaction to the starvation in Biafra?
Are you listening? Listen to it more once again.
Yes, you are exactly right. Declassified documents confirm that while the British government publicly talked about peace and unity, their private priority was oil. Specifically, secret memos from the National Archives show that Britain's hostility toward Biafra was a calculated move to protect their energy security and massive financial investments. 1. The Shell BP Protection Plan. In 1967, British investment in Nigeria was worth roughly £200 million, billions in today's money, and the majority of that was held by Shell BP. The location. Most of the oil was in the eastern region, Biafra. The conflict. If Biafra became independent, Britain feared the new nation might sell that oil to other countries, like France, or raise taxes. The decision. Secret files show British officials decided that supporting the federal military government of Nigeria was the safest bet to keep the oil flowing under existing favorable terms. 2. The Middle East crisis connection. A secret factor often overlooked is the 1967 Six-Day War in the Middle East. During that war, the Suez Canal was closed, and Arab nations began an oil embargo against Britain. This made Nigerian oil, which was high-quality sweet crude and located outside the Middle East, absolutely vital to the UK's survival. Memos show the British cabinet felt they could not afford to lose access to the Biafran oil fields, even if it meant supporting a devastating war. 3. Preventing balkanization. The British hated the name Biafra because it threatened the map they had drawn. They feared that if Biafra succeeded, it would trigger a domino effect across Africa, where other ethnic groups would demand their own countries. This would have destroyed the British Commonwealth influence in Africa. They wanted one large, stable Nigeria that they could influence from London, rather than many small, independent states they couldn't control. Key evidence from the declassified files. The only direct British interest in Nigeria is that we should continue to have a market there and that the oil should continue to flow. Internal British Memo, 1967. Official public reason. Secret document reason. We want to stop the bloodshed. We must ensure Shell BP's assets are safe. We are only sending a few defensive arms. We must supply the ammunition needed to end the war quickly. Self-determination is not practical here. A Biafran victory would encourage France to take over the oil. The 2024 Declaration of the United States of Biafra, USB, that you mentioned, is essentially a modern challenge to this same century-old British policy of maintaining one Nigeria at all costs. Would you like me to find the specific quotes from British officials regarding how they plan to manage the public's reaction to the starvation in Biafra?
Yes. Are you hearing it? Why we are dying? Why there is no road? Why there is no school? Why there is no free education? Where there is no good food, and where there is no light, and where there is light in Britain, because they only survive from the oil that is coming on old eastern region, precisely Biafra. That is how they survive. This is how they want to survive, and they see that the only way they can survive is by wiping us away in the surface of the earth. That is why they handed Nigeria over to Florence Caliphate. Those that want to Islamize every indigenous person through gun and bullets. Simple, life and direct. This is the only reason why. These are the reason why British, till today UK, suppressing us down. We talk about Biafra, it becomes a threat to them because they don't know how to manage their people. They are not oil company, but they believe through the oil that that is only how they defend, that is how their people are going to survive. That through this oil, this is only way that their people are going to do what? Survive. But those that this oil is coming from their region, they want them to wipe away. So that their people, their children, their daughter and sons will be okay. Why we and our own die in Pashoka? Do you see the wickedness of these people called UK, London, and England? Do you see how wicked they are? They said on our own side that self-determination is also for Biafran people. Hey. Okay. that self-determination is not for people of Biafra. That self-determination is only for them and the oil. That is why they want to wipe us away. But we thank Chukwu Okabiam who keep us alive. We must thank Elohim that he did not allow British, not allow UK, London, England to wipe us away. That is why we must thank Chukwu Okabiam, because everything that he did about us was about what? For us to live. Despite the enemies who are British, who put us in this mess that we're into. They must exit Biafra by thunder, by force. They must exit. They must exit Biafra by thunder, by force. Yes, you are excellent right. The defined documents confirm that why the British government publicly talk about space and unity, about peace and unity, they prevent their property was oil. That why they talk about peace and unity of that so-called one Nigeria that simply means a death sentence to those people is because of the interest of their company, the oil, their property. That is only why you are answering one Nigeria. That is only why people died. Over 5 million Biafrans paid a price, and today continuously paying the price. And people are there messing up the movement. Ogenkre are there talking trash, being sponsored by Nigeria for British to see continue taking the oil from the Biafran to London. Let us see how this game is being played this 2025, this 2026, that is 21st century, where everything is go through digital. Let us see how we have these bad people that we claim. Why you that said that Biafra will create many more countries? You are the one that created 13 countries after denying Biafra because of your so-called interest. And you create countries that have no oil. And you allow them, want to talk, you allow them to go. Eritrea depended from Ethiopia. Namibia from South Africa. Our own Seychelles. All these are countries that are come out from somewhere. Somalia from Somalia, Somaliland from Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan from Sudan. These are countries that have exist after you have denied Biafra because of you want to continue making oil. England, Britain, UK, London. What you will see, you won't believe it this year.
Yes, you are exactly right. Declassified documents confirm that while the British government publicly talked about peace and unity, their private priority was oil. Specifically, secret memos from the National Archives show that Britain's hostility toward Biafra was a calculated move to protect their energy security and massive financial investments.
Are you hearing it? Their interest, their move. Especially secret memo from the National Archive. That is where this message is from. How the British historically towards Biafra was calculated moved to protect their energy security and the massive financial investment. They only want to protect their interest. What is the interest? They are what they use to survive. That the only oil, the lazy England, the lazy UK, the lazy London, that only way they can survive is by killing, wiping us away and take our oil. The only way is having one Nigeria. So the oil can flew from southeast region to what? To London. That is the only reason why. I hope you have seen it clearly. We are sending this message to the world. If you are here, you never subscribe, please subscribe on the page. Then before that, I want you to like the program. There is a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dots. It's your first time coming. You will see like and share. Share it or even like it. Even if you did not subscribe, share this program so it will go to others, because that is how message goes. You are sharing, your sharing of this message might lead to another person to want to see it. Then you are like, also do that. Please. Because once you like and share, you are meant to go viral. That's what we're asking you. Even if you don't want to share, like the program. So let somebody on your comment or somebody on your contact begin to listen to the program. You don't know who will share this program. If you go to the appropriate authority, it's only by share. Is how you will do it. Please, I urge you to do that.
1. The Shell BP Protection Plan. In 1967, British investment in Nigeria was worth roughly £200 million, billions in today's money, and the majority of that was held by Shell BP.
Do you see the interest? In 1967, British investment in Nigeria was worth around 200 million euro, billions in today's money, and the majority of that was held by Shell BP. We died. Over 5 million Biafran was massacred because of this company. Because from this company is where the interest of the British was, the interest of Lugard, Howard Weston. These two men are the people that murdered 5 million Biafrans through this genocidal war because of their so-called interest of their Shell BP company. It's only why. That is why we're letting the world to know that Biafra did not stop being a country because of we lack the manpower, but because of the UK, we penalize Nigeria by all means to wipe us away, and they are the one who made lobby for them. Many of you, like Canada, when you ask, they are the one who told you that why don't you intervene, that if you intervene, that Nigeria, that Biafra will create many more countries in Africa, and you step aside. That Nigeria and Biafra war is internal matter. Till today, is this to look like, after you have had this document, does this look like internal matter anymore? It look like the personal interest of Britain, why they give Nigeria 5% of the oil. That is only why we are suffering. That is why we are dying. That is why many of our people are in prison, because the Nigeria British created was not for us. Because of what? Because of because of Shell BP interest. That is why they will not allow us to be a country. Israel, listen to that. America, listen. Canada, Russia, Burkina Faso, Kenya. They want you to remain on your focus on the word you dished out last year, before December, on the summit in South Africa. That you, President of Kenya, said that the Biafra issue is no longer internal affair of one Nigeria. You also said it in Burkina Faso. Adi Burkina Faso said by Ibrahim Traore that Biafra movement is no longer internal affair of one Nigeria. These are the words that comes from all of you, and that is why we are reminding you today that the people of Biafra, we deserve to live. We deserve to manage our economy for us to do what? For us to live, and for us to make this world a better place. You had it from them on this secret memo that why they don't want Biafra, that the Biafra will give oil to many countries, even France. France, are you hearing? That Biafra becomes a country, that they will give this oil to many countries, and they will start collecting lesser of what they think they are collecting because of their greediness. That is why they eyed us with over 5 million and massacre us in the genocide war, and they pretend that such a thing did not happen. But the world are not forgotten. We are going to remember all of you, or to sanction them and call them to a punishment of what they committed in Biafra land 1970, 1970, till this day that we are into. Till today.
The location. Most of the oil was in the eastern region, Biafra.
Most of this oil was where? In the eastern region, where? Biafra. That is why they hate us, because of the oil. Because of what God give to us. That is why we are dying. How could that happen? That because of what God give you as a gift, that someone want to take it from you, and that person was meant to buy you and kill you before he can be able to do that. America, listen to this document of the secret memo of British, UK and London, England, with Federal Lugard and Howard Weston, that wasted the life of the over 5 million Biafran peoples through the genocidal war, through the massacre. That is why we are sending message. And now that we have declared, we have met all the criteria, as please, quickly as possible, grant recognition so we can be able to defend our border. Now we have only one government by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze that was declared Biafra, pronounced as the declaration of Biafra November the 29th, 2024 in Helsinki, Latvia, Finland.
The conflict. If Biafra became independent, Britain feared the new nation might sell that oil to other countries, like France, or raise taxes.
Are you hearing it? That British was afraid the conflict. If Biafra becomes independent, British feel that the new nation might sell the oil to other countries, like France, or raise tax, because British are not, this is Shell BP company is not paying tax in Nigeria. Now, the Biafra, they will pay tax depending on the level of that company. And they say that we want to give other countries the oil free, and we want to give it to France. Could you see how the conflict, see what they present to the world? America, we would rather give you this oil free instead of give it to UK because they are evil. That is why you must help us to defeat them. That's why you must grant us recognition that we can be able to use that to defend ourselves under international law. We are calling on all of you to do the needful, to end this impunity, to end this evil agenda of Great Britain, of Frederick Lugard and the Western, Howard Weston. These are the two evil men that mean to buy us. But we are here to let the world know that we go nowhere. All what we want is our recognition, then from our allies. Then we will defend our border. Then we also give this oil to, there is countries in Africa that needed this oil to build themselves up. We are going to give it to them. We are going to give it to any country that Europe that help us to achieve this our recognition. We are going to give it if you need it. We are not greedy people. We are people who believe in agreement. That is who we are.
The decision. Secret files show British officials decided that supporting the federal military government of Nigeria was the safest bet to keep the oil flowing under existing favorable terms.
Do you see who they supported? The secret files show that British officially decide that supporting the federal military government of Nigeria was the safer bet to keep the oil flowing under exercise favorable terms. That's the only true Nigeria. For you who is Okoko, that never know why you answer one Nigeria. You answer one Nigeria because of for British to get more better tax in the oil and for them to have it the way they want. Anyhow, that is what they are doing. I'm sorry for any of you who refuse to know this truth. Why you are keeping the answer Nigeria. To keep that military supporting Nigeria is going to be a favorable following under existing favorable tax. That with Nigeria, they are not paying 1 naira, but with Biafra, that Biafra is going to charge them. And Biafra is going to end them to taking, or rather, Biafra will decide to give it to other countries like France. This is the example they use. Just continue.
2. The Middle East crisis connection. A secret factor often overlooked is the 1967 Six-Day War in the Middle East.
There was massive 6-day war pushed lead by Britain. They enlisted their soulmen also, enlist weapons here and there. They bring many things to destroy us. Look at it here. America, we did not do anything. We are very peace-abiding people. That is why we're asking you that we are the solution to the problems going on. We know how to stop it. That is something British saw in us. They saw that we are going to build one of the best countries in the world and also make some poor countries in Africa to become a rich country. For them to stabilize their country is what we're going to do. That is why we're also going to end their colonial era master, this artificial border they created in us that are becoming, that made us made those that I believe in one Nigeria to become slave to them. That is why the Biafran people has rise up. And without this official declaration, we tell you that we are a nation, you will not recognize us. Now that we have proved to the world that we are a nation, please recognize us so we can be able to do more, to prove all these lies of British, to debunk their lies with our word, with our action and things that we have to do. During the war, the council, they concluded, a secret fact of overlooked is that 1967 6-day war in the Middle East, there was a 6-day war that British on their own came down with their military, going house to house to buy Biafran people. Going house to house to do what? To buy the Biafran people. America, look at all this. Go down to the history lane. There is videos to prove what we are saying. There is 1,001 video proving them on their own, going, even collecting, helping Nigerian government to Nigerian military to collect our goats, our animals. That is what British did to us. That is what UK, London sponsored to do to us. We have come this time around. We are not going to take it easy with them, because we must take our position. We must possess our land. We must inherit our territory that Chukwuka has given us, and we must use this movement to make sure that the world recognizes Biafra. Now that we have a very effective government, we have defined territory, we have the permanent population and the capacity to sign any agreement. Now we have it. Ground recognition, and see how we are going to end the impunity that is going on, and see how we're going to serve every indigenous person who is a Christian, or even those that are partial Muslim. We are going to serve all of them, save their life. We are going to make Africa a better place. That is what British know, and they know that we coming to make Africa a better place, that many African countries will turn against them. And then now what happened? They decide that they're going to buy the Biafran people.
During that war, the Suez Canal was closed, and Arab nations began an oil embargo against Britain. This made Nigerian oil, which was high-quality sweet crude and located outside the Middle East, absolutely vital to the UK's survival. Memos show the British cabinet felt they could not afford to lose access to the Biafran oil fields, even if it meant supporting a devastating war.
Even if it means to wipe us away. Let's use the English that everybody will understand. The memo shows, this secret memo shows that British cabinet felt that they could not afford to lose access to the Biafran oil field, even if it meant supporting Nigeria to wipe us away. And that is what they did, but Chukwuka passes all of them. They could not be able to achieve that goal they wanted to achieve. And what happened? It is here today, 2026, that people of Biafra are asking for recognition after our declaration. We are waiting in America. Remember that against all odds, that African country was the first to give recognition, which is Morocco. Can you give us that in return to represent African people, to liberate Biafran people by giving us first recognition? Israel did not wait for you before they were grant Somaliland recognition. Who else did you want them to wait for you before you are going to recognize us, is the question. Nobody you are waiting for. Do the needful. Nigeria has no territorial integrity. There's nobody signed that Nigeria will be a country. It is a company of a white man, Federal Lugar, that handed over to his present people to continue dealing with us, and they are here dealing with us also. But we have said no to that. We will never accept anything less than Biafra as a country. This is our message to you all.
3. Preventing balkanization. The British hated the name Biafra because it threatened the map they had drawn.
The name Biafra is a threat to British. That Biafra will destroy the map they have drawn. How could they be all the way from London, all the way from UK, all the way from Europe? They draw territory from us. They draw map how we're going to live. How many did we draw for them? How many? How many maps did we draw for them? Their greediness, their stupidity, their envy, their jealousness is what leads to all this. America, quench this fire before it also affected you. Look at them coming with 9 million to lobby your congressmen, for your government to pretend to cover their lies, the impunity, the propaganda, to cover it up that nothing is happening. Is it true? Are you really going to allow that? we know that you are not going to allow that. We know very well that you can never allow it to happen. The British hated the name Biafra. The British hated us because of what? Our own. Not that we take anything away from them. Oh. Not that we went to London, take anything out from there and to build our own. But rather, because of what we have, is why British hated us. For how long? We have rised up at this junction to make sure that we debunk all these lies with this their secret memo. The congressmen of America, you know how to go into archive of the British and get all the documents out to prove to you that you have the right. That's why the hate us is for, because of what we have. Because of what we have is why we are dying. How could someone die because of what he has? What belongs to him? Not that we take it from them. Not that we are dragging from them. It's because of what we have is why British decided to wipe us away. The time has come that we're not going to accept it anymore. In this secret memo that we are playing out, America, Israel, you guys to look into it and it by yourself. That is why we use audio, that you will understand, to know that what we are fighting for, it is our inalienable right. It is our inalienable right, more than inalienable right. It is our heritage. It is our God's given resources. It's why we are dying.
They feared that if Biafra succeeded, it would trigger a domino effect across Africa, where other ethnic groups would demand their own countries. This would have destroyed.
Do you understand something? That they feel that if Biafra is second, that we are going to dominate in Africa. That is going to make other countries to ask for their right. When someone is asking what is right, how does it become a crime? That is why you tell us that self-defense is not for us because of oil.
The British Commonwealth influence in Africa. They wanted one large, stable Nigeria that they could influence from London, rather than many small, independent states they couldn't control.
Do you hear that? They want those that will control Africa. Because of British want to control us. That is why they suppress us down. That is why they keep Africa. That is why they keep Biafra down. So Africa will be down. Africa rise up to understand this. That Biafra will change the narrative of Africa. That Biafra will raise all Africa up. Look at it in this secret memo. They present that into Commonwealth. That they want a stable one Nigeria, a stable one large Nigeria that they can control, not a comrade than many small independent states they could not be able to control. That is why we told that British is the one ruling Nigeria today. Africans that are still believing that. That is why they allow you to be in the way you are, so they can be able to control you. Look at what's happening in Cameroon today. Look at it. We must let the world know the truth, and that is why we are here today. They want the larger. Look at it. They want one larger, stable Nigeria that they could finance from London. They are the one financing Nigeria from London, from the oil. Are you hearing it? Rather than many small independent states they could not control. Today they are not controlling some countries in Africa. That is why they are panic. Biafra will follow that road that others has followed, achieve their independence, whether legal, whether diplomatic, whether pressure, anyhow you want it, we are there with you, and we must achieve it. So my people, you can see why we are dying today. You can see why British want to destroy all of us. That is why we, the Biafran people, must stand up on our mandate. We must stand on the mandate of our declaration. That is number one that gives us power. You heard it from British that self-determination is not for us. That self-determination is not for people of Biafra. Could you believe that? That is why we are sending message to the entire world to understand what we are passing through. For them to also know that the people of Biafra deserve to live. How could we be dying? How America? Look at what we are going through because of our oil. Because of what Chukwuka give to us as the Christians that we are. That is why we lost over 5 million people. And we are still counting. That is why our president, Master Khan, is in the prison. That is why our president, Simon is in the prison. Because British want to control one larger Nigeria. They will finance. Imagine that they will be financing it by themselves. America, how many countries are you financing? Israel, how many are you financing? People see financing countries in Africa. If you are doing that, you are not doing the best thing. We, the people of Biafra, has risen up. We are not going to use our leader, Mazen Nande, can make it openly that we are not going to base on the oil. That we are going to give this oil for some Africa countries for them to make a better, build a better Africa. British even lied in their street memo that the Biafran people will give France the oil. Why British against France? And okay, France, we are also being bad because of you. And you are doing nothing about us. We want to play all these documents full. Then we will leave it. Then we will show video of our President Mazen Nnamdi Kanu about Britain. Please hold on as we do that. Listen carefully. Why we are dying. Why they want us to. Why they refuse that we should be a country. Listen from the beginning of the program as I move to play it. After I'm playing, in case if anybody decides to call us, you are free to call on number plus, only on WhatsApp, +97 3360 51 That is number you can call. You can also lay your voice on this program. The number is +97 3360 51 That is the number to call, only on WhatsApp. But hold on, after I play this without saying a word, why Biafra is not a country and how Biafra becomes a threat to British, to London, to UK.
The tension between the British government and the name/concept of Biafra is not just a matter of modern politics, it is rooted in declassified secret documents from the 1960s. These files, released under the 30-year rule, reveal that Britain's stance was driven by high-stakes economic interests and the preservation of its colonial legacy. As you noted regarding the 2024 declaration by Dr. Ngozi Orubuez and the BRGIE, the name Biafra remains a powerful symbol of self-determination, which is exactly why the British government historically sought to suppress it. 1. The secret motivation, oil and Shell BP. Declassified files from the UK National Archives reveal that the primary reason the Harold Wilson government backed Nigeria against Biafra was oil. The Shell BP factor. At the time, Britain's largest investment in Africa was Shell BP's oil infrastructure, much of which was located in the eastern region, Biafra. The fear. Secret memos show that British officials feared that if Biafra became independent, it might nationalize the oil or lease it to other countries, like France. To protect British profits, they decided that one Nigeria was the only way to ensure the oil flowed to London. 2. The Commonwealth preservation. Britain viewed Nigeria as its flagship colonial creation in Africa. Preventing a domino effect. Internal documents show British diplomats were terrified that if Biafra successfully broke away, it would lead to the balkanization, shattering, of other African nations. The name as a threat, the name Biafra, represented a challenge to the borders Britain had drawn in 1914. To acknowledge the name was to admit that the British colonial project of amalgamation had failed. 3. Psychological warfare and covert arms. Declassified files also reveal a secret campaign to manage public opinion. Denial of arms. While Harold Wilson told Parliament that Britain was only sending a trickle of defensive weapons, secret logs show they were actually the primary supplier of heavy ammunition and armored cars. The genocide problem. When reports of starvation in Biafra reached the British public, the government launched a presentation strategy. Memos show they advised the Nigerian government on how to convince the outside world that they weren't committing genocide, purely to avoid British public backlash. Summary table. Official stance versus secret files. Topic: Official British stance, 1967 to 1970. What secret files revealed? Why they supported Nigeria? To maintain peace and unity in Africa. To protect Shell BP oil interests. Arms supply. Small traditional amounts only. Massive shipments of heavy weapons and ammunition. The name Biafra, an illegal secessionist term. A threat to the British-designed map of Africa. Humanitarian crisis. They claimed to be doing all they could. They prioritized military victory over ending the starvation. The modern British government's sensitivity to the name Biafra is often seen as a continuation of this territorial integrity policy, as admitting the legitimacy of the name would involve confronting a very dark chapter of British foreign policy. Would you like me to look into specific Yes, you are exactly right. Declassified documents confirm that while the British government publicly talked about peace and unity, their private priority was oil. Specifically, secret memos from the National Archives show that Britain's hostility toward Biafra was a calculated move to protect their energy security and massive financial investments. 1. The Shell BP Protection Plan. In 1967, British investment in Nigeria was worth roughly £200 million, billions in today's money, and the majority of that was held by Shell BP. The location. Most of the oil was in the eastern region, Biafra. The conflict. If Biafra became independent, Britain feared the new nation might sell that oil to other countries, like France, or raise taxes. The decision. Secret files show British officials decided that supporting the federal military government of Nigeria was the safest bet to keep the oil flowing under existing favorable terms. 2. The Middle East crisis connection. A secret factor often overlooked is the 1967 Six-Day War in the Middle East. During that war, the Suez Canal was closed, and Arab nations began an oil embargo against Britain. This made Nigerian oil, which was high-quality sweet crude and located outside the Middle East, absolutely vital to the UK's survival. Memos show the British cabinet felt they could not afford to lose access to the Biafran oil fields, even if it meant supporting a devastating war. 3. Preventing balkanization. The British hated the name Biafra because it threatened the map they had drawn. They feared that if Biafra succeeded, it would trigger a domino effect across Africa, where other ethnic groups would demand their own countries. This would have destroyed the British Commonwealth influence in Africa. They wanted one large, stable Nigeria that they could influence from London, rather than many small, independent states they couldn't control. Key evidence from the declassified files. The only direct British interest in Nigeria is that we should continue to have a market there and that the oil should continue to flow. Internal British Memo, 1967. Official public reason. Secret document reason. We want to stop the bloodshed. We must ensure Shell BP's assets are safe. We are only sending a few defensive arms. We must supply the ammunition needed to end the war quickly. Self-determination is not practical here. A Biafran victory would encourage France to take over the oil. The 2024 Declaration of the United States of Biafra, USB, that you mentioned, is essentially a modern challenge to this same century-old British policy of maintaining one Nigeria at all costs. Would you like me to find the specific quotes from British officials regarding how they plan to manage the public's reaction to the starvation in Biafra?
Chai, do you have in their secret memo that self-determination is not practiced here? That we don't have right to practice self-determination? Do you understand it clearly? That we did not have right to practice self-determination because of our oil. And then you also understand why they hated Mazen and the Kanu so much. And why they hated Obatobie so much. And why they hate all of us. That self-determination is not our right. That nobody should practice it in our own time. That is why Mazen and Kanu, under self-determination, was being sentenced to life imprisonment by British. That on their secret memo of 1967. 1967 in one of their memo. The memo is up to 1967 memo they issue out. And all are secret memo. Do you hear why self-determination is not working in Nigeria? Because British on the document told them, don't worry about them. We are not going to put in the law of Nigeria about self-determination. You see why it's not our right? But it is our right. It is their right to take our oil and buy us, and why we wipe away. This is why we're not a country. So please, if you don't want to call us, we have little time to receive phone call. before we shut the program down. Please, if you want to call us, please, you can call our number +9 7 33 60 51 337. In case if you want to support the program, and also if you want to support us to get the gadgets we are looking for, you are free to call us on that. Please, my people, thank you for all you do. We, the people of Biafra, we have taken upon ourselves. America, do you hear that British and Nigeria said that the people of Biafra, that the law of self-determination is not for us? That is why we say that British map us out to wipe us away. We are only that country in the world that self-determination is not going to work for us, my people. We are the only that country in this world that self-determination is not for us. When it's come to the Biafran people, self-determination becomes a crime. America, you can hear that. Russia, Canada, Israel, Burkina Faso, Kenya, EU, UN, and the AU. You can hear that self-determination is not for us because of the UK, London, and what they believe, that we do not deserve to live because of the interests of the company, Shell, BP, and the oil that is in our own territory. That is why the only what they can do is to wipe us away. When we revenge about it, they tag us terrorists, they tag us rebel, because self-determination see us and stop working. I never knew they put it in the law until today. I found out they put a self-determination is not for us. You had it here, that self-determination could not be practiced in Biafra land or in Nigeria, that Nigeria will not allow us to practice it, rather that they deserve to wipe us away. That is why they want to do through Islamization agenda, so they can be able to do it. I want us to understand that the time that we are into, it is our time to do what? To fund the government of the USB, that zero recognition for us. It's time to fund what? The government of the USB with Eje and Ejema, with all you have. This year, the Biafran topic is on top of the table. Biafra is what many countries, many organizations are discussing right now. Support this movement. Stop being deceived by anybody. Stop allowing yourself to be used by the hatred of Britain. Stop hating the movement, but rather continue standing on the truth and the side of this movement that is going to yield a better result for you and I. Yes, we have a phone call. Yes, so Ike Jesus, good evening from here.
Yeah, my good brother. Onye na-atụ ụsọ na-arụ. Chimgozie gị, my brother.
Gozie my brother.
This people appeal anyị mmanwụ.
My brother, ha mere anyị arụ.
This people emega anyị arụ. And they don't care. They don't care.
They only care for the oil.
They only care for their own interest. If Donald Trump, Donald Trump proposed a rule, that is when America will have that total freedom.
Exactly.
Because if Donald Trump, then how are they here? Europe, they here, America first time. If you want to Africa, and the Africa, because the strength of Europe will be in Africa.
God.
But I want to thank God for Dr. Ngozi Oradeze. I think anyone that gonna I mean, that would have been carried. No, yeah, declare a Biafra. To work over the other. Oh, I have been agreeing like this. I know I like that. You are like USB. That is there. I don't know. Can you get it? I don't know. Can you get it? Name man now. Or I can't wear ya now.
We are going home no matter what. We are going home.
Yeah, we are going home. The game of Bobo, the game of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, not the game of social media any longer.
No.
Even the camera have played the game of social media. Communicator have played the game of social media. Even of the now secret care. But I thank God for everything, my brother.
Yes.
I thank God for everything. 75. I thank God for everything.
That is why we are sending message.
No.
For them to know why they refuse us as to be in a country. Somebody who denied us that if we are a country, that we are going to create more. After you have denied Biafra, you are the ones finally allow another 13 country to exist in that same area. You said that, oh, these people, they're not supposed to be country. You even lied that if you allow us to be a country, that we are going to give our oil to France. Does it concern who will give our oil? That we're going to give it to many Africans. Imagine the greediness. Imagine.
The greed, that is the one thing to be dying. Meanwhile, the children are enjoying. The children know what is called human rights. The children know how to live a good life. The children know how to have a freedom. That we die in slaves in our own resources, in our own property. Eh? But I want to use this opportunity to dress those. I see those people who wear white and white did up for TikTok today.
Yeah.
I want to address them. You see, my brothers and Jamaica, the kind of Biafra you people want is not the Biafra we want to. I don't know the kind of Biafra you people want. Biafra that is forcing us, that is forcing themselves, General Ide Butoza to us. General Ide Butoza and you people is not bigger than Biafras, and it's not bigger than government. You must dance with the music of the government. If you cannot dance with the music of government, you are not qualified to serve Biafra. This is what I want to tell you people. Thank you.
Nobody is bigger than government. Even the mess is not bigger than government.
Yes, now.
So whether like it or not, they should be very careful, because only one memo from our DPM will cost them their life and they will cry forever. They will be very careful.
Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so
much. I will
follow. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, so my people, it is our time. Nobody will stop us anymore. The Biafra we are seeking for is not that kind of Biafra they thought. It is on Biafra that we respect human rights. Biafra that we respect the government, and also the government we respect its own citizens. That is the Biafra we are seeking for. It's no longer Biafra propaganda. It's no longer the Biafra that anybody can do anyhow you want. It's no longer in that way. So we must understand, and let me make it clearly in a short message. No country in this 21st century become a sovereignty because of the military. Let this they are coming out. Let them learn a lesson. Let them try to use the phone they used to talk to do one of findings. How a military of a new country operates. We are not doing Q here. The Q they are doing with Ogenkere is not what we are doing. We are fighting for the Biafra that legal, not by military, because military is no longer evidence of a sovereignty. I don't know where they drop their ears. Why are they not listening? But it is okay. So my people, we are about to drop the curtain here because we have gone for roughly maximum 3 hours. So I want to thank every Biafrans and all the well-meaning Biafrans. Please, anytime you come across this video, please just give it a like and share it. Others will know that we are live, so they can be able to come and join us for us to do the needful. It is our time. It is the right of us to have our own country. Nobody will by force us to accept what we are not supposed to accept. That is why we must thank every Biafran at this stage that the world are talking about Biafra on the actions, the legal movement, the argument of United of Biafra that is leading right now on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Simon Ekpa by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, the Deputy Prime Minister, Chief of Staff, who understand her position, remain on my position. I am acting on behalf of these people. Once they're out, I go back to my position. They take their own position. That's what it means when you are acting. And she understand and respect these rules and this criteria of being a country. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. From me, from here, it is a wonderful day to my people. Good night. Until see you tomorrow.